guys, and welcome to Sci-Fi-Vision for September 24th. Karen and Scarlett are here. Well, Karen's watching the last couple minutes, rewatching the last
No, I'm here. I'm here.
You're here. All right, good.
My camera. There I am. Hi.
There, hello.
Myself settled. Look at my gigantic hair. I went to the baseball game and it was like so humid and swampy, and then it rained. And so you see my curls in all their glory tonight.
Oh, that's good. The weather's been weird. And again, it's been this
my hair gets large in charge, Karen, when it's like this.
Where I've
been inside, so
it was like a swamp today in Baltimore.
Yeah. But tonight we're talking about the season finale, The Real Monsters. So if you haven't seen the season finale, you might want to come back a bit later. But yeah. And then tomorrow, for anybody who doesn't know, is our Scarlett and I will be doing Nevermore Outcasts for Wednesday tomorrow at 11, because we moved it from Monday. Just this week is Thursday. And that's at 11. Of course, the watch party is at 9:30 in Discord. And if you're not a member of our Discord, please join. Links in the chat. And get our schedule and everything else. Yeah. And please like and subscribe to Sci-Fi-Vision. It's always appreciated. But yeah, tonight we're going to talk about the season finale. And also, we're probably going to do some kind of season wrap up when Cyborg Queen Mia is going to guest again. And we'll talk a bit about the show again later. But tonight's just the finale. So, all right. Well, how are you guys? And what did you think?
I honestly thought more was going to happen than what did.
I kind of did too.
But I guess you need cliffhanger in order to get a second season. So,
true.
I mean, I think I was frustrated by the runtime, right? Like, I just wanted more. Like, I feel like if this could have been like a night, I mean, I would have loved 2 hours, right? 90 minutes. Yeah. And like, sometimes, how often, like, I can't believe I'm saying, compare this to Walking Dead, but, The Walking Dead often gives us like an hour and 10 minutes, which would give you maybe 50 minutes. We had 47 minutes of content in this episode, you said, Jamie, right?
Yes, I think it was 47, something like that.
And I'd love to have just like a little bit more. Yes.
So this show runs the opposite of that. It had all its 90-minute episodes, the first episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, I think there was nothing. Look, I liked this episode, but was anything surprising? No. This kind of ended exactly maybe how I thought it was going to end, with a few changes, right? I mean, with a few.
I didn't think that the Oculus Prime was going to go into Arthur's eyeball.
No, I didn't either. I thought that was the last we'd seen of Arthur. And I didn't think he was going to go into a dead person with so many live people to choose from.
Yeah.
So that was surprising, right? But that's a minor kind of surprise. I mean, for it to end with, when in control, of course.
All the episodes have been longer except for the finale, which is that's what surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, I do like how, and you might talk about this, Jamie, if you guys are going to do like a more of a season overview, but I like the way this really turns the Alien franchise on its head by the end of the season, right? Mm-hmm. And this is really not a show about aliens. Like, the aliens are around, but they're not the main thing, right? And I like what Noah Hawley has done with this.
Well, right? I expected nothing less for Noah Hawley,
Uh-huh.
I like how the music too got very Legion-y in the beginning. It was very nice.
Yeah. I was reading a little kind of an opinion piece in Salon today, and I'll have to Google the writer. I'll look it up real quick. But she made a comment it was a woman. What's her name? Let me look it up real quick. Melanie McFarland, writing in Salon in an opinion piece, said like, this ending maybe was surprising only to people who don't understand what 11-year-old girls can be like when they have the chance to be in control. And I thought, oh, that's really
accurate.
That was kind of spot on in the sense that, like, if you have a chance for a kid to be at the top of the sort of social pecking order, almost like I don't want to call Wendy a mean girl, but I think that's what we would be getting at in this, right? Like if kids, and then I thought, I don't watch Yellow Jackets, but you guys watch this.
Yeah, I was gonna say Yellow Jackets. Like,
this whole
never knew the fury of teenage girls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Quite a lot.
And when we watched In the Wilds, right? Like similar, like children stranded. Is there a little bit of? I don't really see Lord of the Flies as an inspiration, but there's sort of this thing where these kids are like realizing their power, and I really like that about this show. That Noah Hawley's found his way into this show and put the aliens sort of like as a background problem. Right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people who are frustrated that wanted to see a show that was more about the xenomorph as the central thing, right?
Yeah, because the posters have a xenomorph with the Earth in its shells, so you would think that that was going to be the thing.
Yeah, I think some people that are maybe huge fans of the movie franchise didn't like it as much as, casual viewers or new viewers. I like that he was able to kind of mess with the mythology and do something different. I think it made it interesting and it can be its own thing. I kind of, for a finale though, like I was a little let down because like you said, it was a little predictable. I thought last week's was a lot better. I would have either liked another episode or two, maybe just lengthen the season. But not only that, maybe if it had even ended last episode, it would have been, I don't know. Last week was like crazy. And then this week just felt like not quite as crazy. I don't know. That's what I felt like. It's not that it wasn't good. It just, last week was really good.
I think, Scarlett, you might agree. I think, Jamie, predictable is kind of a good word. There was nothing surprising here, right? It was a little bit, I think we all might have expected it to go here. Maybe that's why I craved another half an hour.
I guess I didn't expect them to capture everybody so quick.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it too.
I mean, that could be in other shows that would take 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I have so many questions too. Like, why is Wendy the only one that can control electric stuff? Why didn't Curly go see Dame instead of Nibs? Because I feel like Dame and Curly had more of a connection. It's okay to have Joe on their team, even though he shot at Nibs, but not have Dame on their team because she wiped Nibs' memory. I have so many questions. That's just the tip of the questions.
No, I agree with the things you've said. There are some issues in that sense. As for the messing with the cameras, though, I saw in somebody's recap, and it made me wonder how you were supposed to take it when I was like looking around at stuff. It was a little odd that Smee was counting down when Wendy put the alarm in the elevator, like it was gonna self-destruct. I don't know. They took it. It sounded like that he was doing it too. I assumed Wendy was doing it and he was just watching.
I thought he was just counting along.
Yeah,
I don't know. But that's what I thought
is,
too.
if Boy's so smart, when the computers go down, why doesn't he fix them? I'm so confused.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the smartest guy in the room.
He's a genius, right? And he doesn't do anything. He doesn't fix anything.
No, you're right. He doesn't.
He doesn't.
How did he make a synth when he was like 10 or whatever? I have so many questions.
6. He says he built his first synth when he was 6, which
for
like
what did he MacGyver a synth with?
I mean, how does a 6-year-old even have the fine motor? I mean, like the fine motor skills. Yes, they have a lab than that, but how does he learn how to like solder a thing together and like do right? Like building your first synth when you're 6, unless he had other robots doing the work. Like, how would he physically build a thing, right?
Yeah.
Does he have a lab in the garage?
I mean, and we're supposed to not think about that because the rest of that sentence is like, then I had that synth kill my father, right? Basically.
Yeah, that's the only part you're
true Blade Runner style.
It's the horrifying aspect of it. And he didn't really build a synth. He probably built an android, because a synth was explained to us earlier as a synth has I guess a synth is.
Well, I think they were implying that it was Adam that he built, right? I mean, that was definitely the implication to me. So,
but Adam doesn't have a human consciousness uploaded into him, like he's
right. He's
android.
Yeah, he built Adam when he was 6.
He says out of parts. The show he was 6.
Because he said something like, I knew that if a 6-year-old couldn't own a company or whatever, so I made a figurehead. So I assumed that was what he built, was Adam.
Yeah. So the comments are like flying by. Let me just hit a couple. Misha reminds us that a synth is the same as an android. So that's really what Adam is, right? Golden Child says, how did he build it? He did it with Play School toys.
Some Lego, some Lego bricks.
Yeah.
Director set,
Cavalier's a genius, but he doesn't know what a crayon does. Yeah. I'm gonna hit some of these with stars that we'll come back to later. Okay, Jamie.
I was marking one too. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's supposed to be a genius, but sometimes he doesn't quite seem like it. Yeah. But then again, he's also supposed to be a spoiled brat. So there's that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and before we jump into it, we just have a couple comments. Misha gives it a 3. Is that on a scale of 10 or a scale of 5? 3 is
or a scale of 3.
On a scale of 3. Did these go to 11, Misha? What's your 3 out of what? And Samuel thinks it's only an okay finale. And I guess we're kind of agreeing there that it was okay. It wasn't bad.
No, but like I said, I almost would have rather last episode somehow be the finale, because that was a better episode.
But, you know what? I think the same thing about Wednesday. Now that I watched all of it.
Yeah,
Misha's the penultimate Wednesday was also better than the finale.
Yeah. Misha's a 3 on a scale of 10, so that's pretty low.
She really doesn't like it.
Bill Chill gives it a 6. Samuel gives it a 10. 7 out of 10. Bill Chill's a 6 point blah out of 10.
6 point blah.
6 point blah out of 10. Misha's a 3 out of 10, but some parts are a 5 out of 10.
I give it 7 space sticks.
7 space sticks.
Yeah, where are the space ticks? Do the hybrids know about those, or they just don't care?
They didn't appear, but I mean,
go back into that.
I mean,
the flies, space flies.
I gotta agree with the chat. Like, it's somewhere between a 3 and a 7. It's not a 10. It's not a 1. It's okay, but not great, right?
But even if it was a 6, I bump it up to 7 because of Noah Hawley.
Well,
it gets a little bump.
6.5, somewhere around there.
I know, and I feel, Scarlett, like you might want to lower it because your favorite soldier got eaten, but then again, you might want to bump it up because you got eaten by Audrey 3. So
it was a beautiful death. I allow it.
Yeah,
it was a cool death.
Yep.
She could have got out of the way of it. She just stood there for a little while. I mean, unless it gave her something that paralyzed her. Did it give her Did it drip paralyzed stuff on her? Because it looked like she couldn't move.
To. She started shooting after she was eaten. It was
but things were dripping on her. I wondered if it was something that just made her paralyzed.
Plantosaurus Rex.
I like that. That's good.
I like Plantosaurus Rex.
I mean, kind of like like those plants, like the Venus flytraps and stuff. They have stuff that kind of make, paralyzed bugs. Little pool, something.
Oh yeah, they have a little. Well, they have sticky stuff. They have sticky stuff.
Sticky stuff,
up inside. So that makes me think maybe not, but yeah.
And the space ticks, Misha, are just running in the streets of New Siam.
I guess so.
Yeah. I just don't. I'm just surprised this one was short compared to like all the other episodes. Like, why is the finale the shortest episode? That was kind of weird. Let's see. Golden Child, I think they made up for it by being an original Alien show, something I wasn't expecting. That's a good point. I mean, yes, I expected it to be all xenomorphs. I did like that it wasn't. That made it a little less Alien franchise, but
I mean, the
I liked
posters
it.
made me think that xenomorphs are going to invade Earth, and that was not what I got.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll get renewed and we'll see more. I mean, I think it's done really well, so I would
Yeah.
assume that it's coming back, but we don't know for sure. But speaking of, I was going to say this first scene, I had moved off it, so I didn't leave the gory on the whole time with
That's
YouTube.
right.
But we have this scene where this crab,
The crab is great.
and the xenomorph is looking at him, and like I thought this was cool, but again, for an episode that was only 47 minutes, like why was this even important? Like it looked cool, but it wasn't.
Xenomorph
add
and
anything.
crab are friends.
Yeah, I mean,
I
think they were trying to. I mean, first of all, it foreshadows that Arthur is going to be reanimated before the end of the episode. But also, like the xenomorph is like maybe a cousin of, like, similar to the crab in some ways. A crab has that armored shell that protects its soft interior, and they sort of look a little bit alike. And I mean, I think it was a nod to like a similar creature, maybe.
Didn't attack it. Was just chill.
It's funny though, the crab is like sitting right over the hole in his chest.
I know.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't noticed till now. That's funny. But yeah, that was sort of the opening there. And then we get there, I took a picture of the alien because it looked awesome. But yeah, then we have Dame coming through the graveyard, putting flowers on the grave. Now, do you think she found out about her husband? She looks kind of sad here, but they never really said if she knew anything that happened to Arthur. I was just curious if you guys.
I don't think she knows about Arthur.
Yeah, I would think she'd be more upset if she did. I just was curious because she acted a little funny, so it made me kind of wonder. I wonder if she knows, but I would hope that if she did, she'd be a little hysterical maybe. So I don't know. But yeah, she still comes out and sees the graves. I kind of felt a little bad for her in this episode. I agree with what Scarlett said. Like, she didn't want to hurt them. Out of everybody, her and Arthur were pretty decent compared to everybody else, and like she's still being punished.
They were only taking away Niv's memories because of the trauma. I don't think they were doing it for nefarious means.
And she didn't want to do it either. I mean, they were kind of forced to do it. So yeah. But anyway, she's almost killed by this. I love that shot too, like that dripping slime from its mouth. Right? Cool. Yeah, that looks cool. But she is saved by the soldier guys that come in and rescue her.
So does the xenomorph do like a fear check at first? Because they always like sit near the face of the victim and just like sense it out before they attack.
Maybe they kind of smell it or something. I don't know.
Smell the fear.
Yeah, I guess so. But either way, they scared the xenomorph off, so it leaves him alone for now. I don't know why I got a picture of the boat, but I took a picture of the island because that looked cool. They do say, because it's got like kind of a voiceover as Adam's talking to Boyd, that their communication's down and Morrow cut their lines and everything, and they're jamming their signals, so they're completely cut off on this island from outside the island. But they've evacuated, everybody who wasn't needed. So, and they're also running out of soldiers is the other thing, because he says the alien keeps killing the soldiers. They're running out, but at least the other things are maintained, I guess. So they're safe a little bit there. But
before or after they had those little flashes of like cowboys and Indians?
Wait, what? What do you
mean?
They
have some flashes through this, like narration, and one of them clearly shows like Native Americans and cowboys, and I thought it was a metaphor.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that. I don't know what that was.
They're little toys. It's like when they're in the cage at first. There's these little flashes.
Oh, this is the flash of the toys. No,
kind of making like I would say the hybrids more like the Native Americans, and the Boy Cavalier the cowboy.
No, I didn't see that. That's interesting. I don't know when it was.
Yeah, I rewound it to watch the little flashes because I think the little flashes are really interesting.
Yeah, I did not notice that. But I assume it was after this, because this is right now. They're just telling that they're kind of all separated, and
I'm pretty sure this is when it happened, because that's part of the narration.
After this picture. But then Adam, says they're all in. Let's see, I got a picture of the holding cell here somewhere. Yeah, because it shows like bits of a lot of things. That's why I have a lot of different. But they're in the cell. But he says something like that he doesn't know how long it will hold because they're synthetic. They're whatever hybrids.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he meant by that, because he says I'm not sure how long it'll hold them if they decide to break out. I think he says it wasn't designed for synthetics, and I don't know. I think he means that because of their super strength, they could break out, is what he means, right? Because later in the episode, Boy Cavalier is clearly stunned when Wendy opens the door with her mind.
Yeah, because they have Moro in there too, and he doesn't get out until she lets him out. So yeah, I think he more means like they'll find a way out, not just because
I think he means they'll break it down and bust out with their superhuman strength, I think is what he means.
Yeah, but not just because they're synthetic. Yeah, I think because
they're synthetic, they're superhuman.
Right, but I mean, like if it for instance, Morrow didn't try to break out. Well, he couldn't use his arm, I guess.
Morrow is human. Morrow has human strength with a super arm. He's not.
But you don't see Adam trying to break out later either. I don't think all synthetics have that kind of strength necessarily.
Right.
So yeah, those specific people it wasn't designed for, at least. But yeah, they can get out. But everything else is contained on separate power. But he's trying to tell Boy that they should evacuate.
Adam.
Adam is telling Boy Cavalier they should evacuate. But he's not listening. He's just watching video. I'm not sure. I think I got more pictures than me, but he's watching video of Wendy being, whatever you want to call it, brought back to life, put into the synthetic body, and not really paying a whole lot of attention to what he's
so what do you guys think about that? Why do you think at the moment where his life is at risk, and why is he at that moment? That's what he chooses to watch. What do you guys think about that?
Good times, nostalgia.
I don't think he quite grasps the seriousness of a lot of it yet. I think he's just kind of like he normally is in his own world, and not really listening. I didn't really put any specific. Yeah, I don't know why. What did you think about it?
I mean, I agree with you that I think he doesn't grasp the seriousness of the situation because he is, there's that hubris, beyond hubris, the extreme ego of that he's the smartest person, that his plan is the best, nothing can go wrong, that kind of thing. And it makes him, it blinds him. I don't know if I want to say it makes him naive, but it blinds him to the possibility that things can go wrong, right?
Yeah.
And he really thinks that his intelligence is superior to, Wendy's brain is a computer, right? And he really thinks that that can't outthink him.
Yeah. Like we said before, he's supposed to be a genius, but he does a lot of times act like a kid. He's very, sometimes, like I said, he's a spoiled brat.
But in terms of watching that video right then, Golden Child says he thinks he knows everything and he's trying to analyze and understand what's happening. I guess maybe by looking back at those videos of when kids were first being changed, he's thinking about who they are, who they were, what that I don't know, sometimes when science is going wrong, you go back and you review your work, right? When you get stuck on a scientific problem, you go back and review your work. Is that what he's doing there, maybe? Or is he just as Scarlett said, looking back on better times because he's in denial about what's going wrong?
Yeah, I think he just wasn't really paying a whole bunch of attention. I think because he's even talking to the sheep there. He's like, oh, I wish I could hear your voice. He's not really taking in.
I thought you might put that in his eye.
He's not really taking into consideration Adam's warnings. That's for sure. He's not doing what maybe he should be doing. He's
maybe the sheep is not the thing to be focusing on right now. Like, worry about the problem at hand, not like your desire to have a conversation with someone more intelligent than you are. I gotta wonder at this point, like, do we believe that boy's even the most intelligent person? Like, he thinks he's the most intelligent person on Earth, right? Is he really? He's smart. He's a genius, but
well, genius people can have no common sense. I think
that's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Doesn't necessarily mean they use their brain power all the time when they should, right?
I mean, Samuel B said earlier, I think Boy Cavalier's a nepo baby. Probably killed his rich dad.
Yeah, he did kill. Well, he had the synthetic kill his dad.
Yeah, but he doesn't really say to this point. He doesn't say whether they were rich or poor. He just says his father was abusive and a jerk, and that his father was jealous of him for being so smart, right? But I kind of like where Samuel's going with this. Like, he's a nepo baby. He doesn't seem like a person who, even as a child, ever struggled or wanted
or was told no.
Or was told no. And he must have, like, did he earn trillions from, like, how did he start that company? Was there money already, or did he start from scratch? These are questions that won't be answered, but it's an interesting point that Samuel makes.
I love to have flashbacks of those.
Yeah, well, he'd have to have some kind of money to be able to make it synthetic in the first place, whether he could or not. You'd have to.
Unless he's like a street kid that cobbled everything together from things he stole.
Yeah,
so the soldering iron and some fake skin and
what they're implying.
And like
they had money.
And back to Bill Chill early in this conversation. This DMX lyric, "Feel the pain and the joy of a man who was never a boy," which we're gonna come back to this again later. I think if I can keep it, I'm gonna keep it starred, Jamie, for us to come back to it again later.
Alrighty. So we also have this conversation going on between the kids where, well, we also see too Wendy and Joe having flashes, but because she's still mad at Joe. But Curly is like, why am I in here? I'm the favorite. I shouldn't be here. I didn't do anything. And Nibs is accusing her of tattling on them. And she's saying she didn't. But we sort of, we kind of go back and forth with that little conversation. And then they also talk about, Wendy tells him she saw the gravestones. And that they and is talking about like that they killed them, or well, not killed them, but that what they did wasn't right. And Curly's like, oh, they saved us and we can't die now. And that's when Smee starts saying, oh, but Isaac died. Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of bringing attention to that, and they start talking about like their real names and everything. And Marcy says about Wendy, she says that Wendy grew up and made Peter Pan mad, and he kidnapped her daughter. Yeah. And that we're all.
His name was Jane. Yeah.
Yeah, and says we're all in this cell because we can't be kids anymore, but they won't let us be adults. And that's when Nibs says that they're ghosts, which I don't know what that was supposed to mean or what, where she got that from. It's Nibs, who knows? But that's whenever Wendy says. All this time we've been afraid of them. I think they should be afraid of us. And she starts calling to the xenomorph. So clearly at this point, they're going to fight back.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm titling it back a couple sentences. You said you don't really see the point of that, like, conversation, or...
No, I didn't. Did I say that?
What would you say or a statement that she makes? So she said, this is where she recounts the story about Peter Pan and Wendy.
Yeah, but she says that they're afraid of them because they're gonna.
Oh yeah. It's the ghost where someone says we're ghosts.
Oh, yes, I said I don't know where she got that from. I said I'm not
obsessed with them being ghosts.
Yeah, that's just Nibs being Nibs.
Well, I mean, I think they're ghosts partly because they're dead, but they're still like
ghosts in the machine,
right? Like ghosts are dead. Ghosts are people who are dead but come back or still around and are like just like ghosts are in between life and death, right? They're people that like have died but haven't been able to move on and like are lurking around. Like I kind of get that maybe that they're dead, they're not human, but they're
somewhere in between. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way. I just Nibs,
I mean,
being
I kind of.
that makes sense now that you said that. I hadn't really thought about it that way. Samuel mentioned Curly taking a new name was a nice moment. That was Curly's old name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She said
Yeah,
that
Jane.
Reclaiming her old name, right?
Which is interesting with the whole like Jane being Wendy's daughter and how that works out.
Yeah, I thought about that. How they said that her daughter's name was Jane, and I thought that was a little strange that they decided to make that be Curly's real name. Not that Jane isn't a common name, but yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I have watched this season first, like every part of the season. Every time I see Curly on the screen, I'm like, God, I know her. I know her. Who is this actress? How do we know her? Finally, from the wild. I finally in this episode like put it together that it's from the wilds.
She also reminds me of the actress that plays Lottie on Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
She has that kind of Lottie vibe.
No,
oh yeah. So Golden Child, did you put this up yet? Golden Child's comment about the whole ghost thing. Spirits not in their original body is another way of looking at it. Yeah.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
So after Wendy says they should be afraid of them, she starts calling to the, or at least that's what I'm assuming she's doing. She starts, doing her little thing with her sound, like she's calling to the xenomorph. And we go to Boy watching her, and his video is doing a little wonky as she's doing this because he's talking to Kirsch and asked him about like if the the animals or not the animals, the aliens are locked in their cages. And this is where that shows I wasn't sure if he was being sarcastic or it's just showing the way he is, because he said he's like complaining about Wayland Yutani and he's like, they all came to steal our toys. I thought he was being sarcastic, but I don't know.
Well, steal our toys.
Yeah, they are coming to take everything. They're, it's horrible that he refers to these children as his toys. And these very, very dangerous alien species as his toys, right? Because he's a total dick. I think, if you click back for a second, Jamie, I think at this point you have to assume that Wendy is allowing him to. Wendy can control all the monitors, right? Yeah. All the CCTV. She's allowing him to see this. And he should be far more terrified when she says, like, we've been afraid of them. They should be afraid of us. This is like the moment when Wendy, like, fully realizes, like, her power and her almost her adulthood. I mean, later she says, I'm not an adult, but this is like a terrifying moment, really, right?
Yeah, she's kind of, I want to almost say, like, starting to stalk everybody at this point. Like, she's planning what he's doing. Because he is talking to Kirsch at this point. And this is where Kirsch is saying you need to not, he says, don't be mad, be smart. Because he's getting all pissed off and yelling, and he's like, oh, just grow some balls. Like he wants it to happen. I feel like he thinks that he can fight them, and there's no way he can. And Kirsch does say he has impulse control problems. He has more than impulse.
He says for someone with ADHD as severe as yours, and then he says something about taking your medication, right? Like that's but
it's all fuzzy because Wendy's messing with it.
Yeah. But this is the first time this is the first time we've heard any of that about him, right? Like, not that it maybe wasn't there on the screen with the way he the way he has a lack of focus in a lot of ways. Yeah. But I feel like it maybe is a disservice or an insult to all ADHD people.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I said. That's beyond impulse control.
Right? This is beyond, it's not impulse control. It's complete megalomania is what this man has, right? And it is sort of like, I don't know, if I had ADHD, I might be like, wait a minute. It doesn't make you a...
Crazy. Yeah. I think that, I wonder if it's just more like Kirsch is sort of trying to say it in like a way like he don't want to piss him off more, so instead of saying you're completely going crazy, doing a crazy thing that's going to get you killed, he's kind of like, maybe this isn't the best plan, like trying to approach it in a
Kirsch has always been like that, hasn't he? Kirsch has always been like like a very calm and collected and a more subtle kind of counselor, to the point where later in the episode where Boy Cavalier says he built like he built a for synth as a father figure. Like I know that synth is not the right word for Kirsch, but in that moment I was like, oh, it's Kirsch, and then it was Adam, right?
Okay, yeah, it was Adam. But yeah, you could have thought that then. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it as being. I don't know why I didn't think about it as being Kirsch. To be honest, I didn't pick up on that clue that it was like Adam and that it was saying that. And I didn't pick up on it until later, and I'm like, oh yeah, duh. But yeah, I think maybe he's just trying to do it in his own kind of calm way instead of saying something like, quit being a dumbass. You're going to get yourself killed, which is probably what he's thinking,
Yeah. I mean, I think he's not capable of expressing an emotion, really. He's always going to be like a robot. I don't think he can maybe react in a way that is beyond like, I mean, he could say you're going to get yourself killed, but he's not ever going to shout and show emotion, right?
Yeah, he's not. But either way, I think he probably maybe had some words that were a little stronger, whether he would have been emotional with it or not. He seems like he's trying to watch the way he says it. But yeah, Boy Cavalier, even though the video is going out, he can't hear everything Kirsch has. He's still not really listening because he's still talking to the sheep. And he's like, because he asked that guard, he's like, how do you feel about your eyes?
I thought he was going to send the alien to his eyeball.
Yeah, I thought so too. But he's like, nah.
And he's holding his medication in his hand too, but not taking it.
Right. And he
has an orange bottle.
In this scene where he says, how do you feel about your eyes? And and very shortly after this is when he says, I think I'll feed you to somebody dumb to be
somebody
safe.
Weak.
Somebody weak. Yeah.
I mean, like he now is like openly basically a murderer, right? Like he is openly, I mean, he has mused about killing Joe before, but he openly now is basically saying it's okay to like use a human as an involuntary test subject for a test that will cause their death, basically, right? Like
I'm sure that's not the first time he's done that in his career.
No, it's the first time he's done it in these 8 episodes, but he really like the level of his degradation and his like just, I often push back sometimes when we talk about somebody being a bad person because no one thinks they're a bad person. He is a bad person.
I think he just doesn't care. I think that's part of it. Like he's bad, but he knows he's bad and doesn't give a shit. He just like wants to experiment because it's fun. Like he doesn't think about.
I don't think he knows he's bad. I don't think that's nobody ever thinks they're bad. Everyone knows they're bad. I think he believes he's on a level above everyone else and that morality doesn't apply to him.
Yeah, that's a better description. Like I said, I think that he doesn't care about the consequences. And I don't think
he doesn't believe the consequences to the person that he inflicts.
Well, he definitely doesn't think about the consequences to the other people, but I think he doesn't think about a lot of the consequences, even to himself. I think he's so involved in like, oh, this will be a fun experiment that he's not.
I think he believes his $3 trillion will prevent him from experiencing any consequences.
Yes, that is true.
And he's obsessed with having an intellectual conversation with someone smarter than he is.
What a dick, man. Right? Like, we're all smart, and I value talking to people smarter than me.
Yeah, when the computer monitors went down, he hit a couple buttons, and that's all he did. He didn't even try to troubleshoot at all.
Golden Child asks, what are people called with no empathy? I believe it's a sociopath.
Sociopath, yeah. But he's definitely a psychopath. He's beyond a sociopath.
I don't know that he's a psychopath. He's definitely a sociopath. I read a really interesting article just a week ago that was about sociopaths and who get diagnosed and try to undergo treatment and the things they do to maybe can't feel empathy, but can maybe practice empathy. But a person who's not capable of feeling empathy, I think is a sociopath. A psychopath has a different kind of.
I feel though like a sociopath doesn't necessarily want to hurt. Well, I don't know that he's doing it to hurt people though, so maybe that's not accurate either. He definitely doesn't care if people get hurt. But sometimes I think he enjoys when people get hurt. He seems to, which is why I'm saying I think it's more than a sociopath. But he's a little nutty either way.
But see, I think a sociopath, maybe he is a psychopath, a sociopath,
Yeah, they have no empathy, but a sociopath doesn't necessarily go out of their way to hurt people
Well,
either.
and they're capable of feeling emotion. They feel
know.
emotion. They can be in love and have children and have a family, and they can. But I'm not a
They just have a
psychologist.
hard
But
time
there's a difference here. And let's say Golden Child that he's definitely a sociopath, but quite possibly also a psychopath, right?
Yeah.
But I think the word GC might have been going for was maybe a sociopath.
I was going to say he's a psychopath when it counts.
Yeah. Misha says, okay, first of all, not all empathetic people are murderers.
Yeah, my point.
Right? I don't think he cares either way.
The majority are not.
I don't think he cares either way. Like he said, he moves fast and makes trillions. Having worked in tech, I bet he's modeled after so many tech CEOs. So let's remember there is a very famous billionaire who runs a car company who I won't name, who is on the record in an interview saying like empathy is a weakness and empathy is like bad for our country. I don't know the exact quote, but like empathy is a problem in Western society. And like Boy Cavalier is maybe that person
having enough empathy, but
Boy Cavalier is that quote taken to like 150 years in the future, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Where the product is people and not a car.
Yeah.
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 Yes. I think the main takeaway though from here, other than the fact he's a little nutty, is that, or more than a little nutty, is that when he says, "I think I'll feed you to you someone weak," that's kind of the point of that is we think, oh, he's gonna, potentially
get that mold sprayer, because the mold sprayer is still around.
The what? The mold sprayer. Oh yeah, that guy. I assumed that he meant Wendy's brother.
I assumed Joe. I assumed he meant Joe. He considers Joe to be weak, and right, he thinks Joe is dumb, and he thinks Joe's love for Wendy is a weakness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, definitely.
Or for Marcy, but I assumed he meant Joe. Like who is he? There's a limited number of living humans who are named like I don't care if he feeds the security guard to Optimus Prime, right? There's a limited number of humans available right now.
But the guard was convenient. I thought maybe he would just throw the alien in his eyeball just for kicks.
Yeah. I thought he was going to take the guard too. I was kind of surprised he didn't, but yeah, I think it was more for us to get that comment there. I like Gold Child though about the one that's cleaning. Does he have a personal flamethrower?
Yeah,
he is always using one, isn't he?
I think it's nice that they kept the mold spray on the payroll, even though they were evacuating other people.
Yeah, he's still fixing the place up, right?
Yep.
The flamethrowers
must be important.
Hey, those flamethrowers are fun.
They are. Flamethrowers are awesome. So then we have Dame here, who's in her room. I don't know, after being scared of almost dying, she's just kind of hiding in there. And Wendy starts, I don't know, like kind of torturing her, or trying to. She's making these videos playing of the kids saying, how this was a good thing, and herself saying, "We'll be okay, won't we?" Like asking, "This isn't going to hurt us, is it?"
And the one girl saying, "We're going to have superpowers. I'm going to be invisible."
Yeah, so it's just kind of pushing home that fact. You heard us. You knew that this was bad, and you did it anyway.
I wonder which kid says that I would like to be invisible so I can sneak behind people. Is that like Nibs, or is that Curly?
Like a ghost.
Like a ghost,
yeah. A ghost, you're right.
The Nibs son.
So I do love how this scene kind of parallels the previous scene of Boy Cavalier watching video of the children. And the totally different reasons why they're doing that. Well, I mean, Dame's not watching this on purpose. Wendy is sending this to Dame to sort of torture her, right? And to remind her, I think it's last week's episode where Wendy says, maybe you just put 6 kids in the ground.
Mm-hmm. And like on her guilt, feeding on her guilt.
That might be this episode. I think she says something like that.
In this episode, maybe she says it later in this episode. And like Misha's pointing out, Dame was an apologist. Like Dame has been telling herself all along that she saved these children's lives. But they're not even those children anymore, right? They created, and she's terrified of these kids now. Like she knows she created monsters in some way. Like this episode is called The Real Monsters, and I think there's a question at this point in the episode who that refers to. Does that mean the humans? Does that mean the children? Who are the real monsters?
Yeah, it could mean the humans.
And is Dame one of the monsters, right?
Yeah, and it kind of makes me question. Like I said, I sort of feel a little bit bad for her. I guess my question with her and Arthur is, when they started, what was their goal? Like clearly,
or what do they know, or what did the boy tell them?
Well, yeah, I mean, at some point, I wonder if when they started this, if there was like a different goal than what it became. I mean, at some point they clearly knew it was wrong and knew that they were killing these kids or whatever. But I just wonder if like the beginning science maybe wasn't, because they clearly care about the kids, maybe not enough because they still did it. But yeah, I did feel a little bit bad for her in this episode, because out of everybody, her and Arthur wanted to protect them. That doesn't make what they did okay. I'm just saying, like, out of everybody else, they're the least of the of the quote unquote, as Karen doesn't like me saying, but they're the least of the evils.
Well, but Arthur says early in the season about how they wanted to have children and they couldn't. And I'm not saying that people who want children and can't have them, sometimes they find another way to have children. Sometimes they channel their energy and their passion into other things that benefit children, like, which is what these two did. Like they were.
Yeah, I wonder if at the beginning they were trying to say, like, it really was about saving the children. At least I'm questioning.
Yeah, maybe it was more altruistic in the beginning.
Yeah.
Was it also maybe Dame getting to have 6 children, to be the mother figure to these children, right? Like they were going to put these kids in these new bodies, and she was going to be sort of like the mom to them, right?
Yeah. And I mean, on paper, saving these kids that were dying so they won't die. I mean, on paper, maybe that sounds like a good thing, but it clearly isn't. That's not all it is. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more to it. Yes.
But I'm also confused though with Curly, and how Curly called Dave mom, but then now Curly's cold to Dave. Maybe she was horribly underused in this episode, like she was used in the last 2. Yeah. Or is she letting Wendy mean girl her, as Karen said?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think they're very messed up. Like if we look at it, if you think their brain is like a human adolescent brain, like they're messed up anyway at this age, and these kids are more messed up by having these like
superhuman bodies.
Yeah, you don't give kids guns and let them run around and do what they want. Because for a good reason.
If you want to have child soldiers, as Jazzy put.
No, but I'm saying, like, we know from real life that when something like that happens, like when kids find weapons, very bad things happen. That's why you don't give kids weapons and teach them how to shoot. It's the same thing with why you don't give them, crazy strength and not teach them how to use it type of thing.
And this is where the episode, it goes at the end of the episode where Wendy's like, I'm not a child, I'm not an adult, right? But to Kelly's point here, Kelly, we didn't call it out. Kelly said if the kids were on death's door, I can see how Dame could convince herself that this wasn't so bad. And that's true. The kids were all terminal and going to die. They had terminal illnesses. The kids were all going to die very soon. And so I think you're right. She convinced herself she was saving them. But was that really the right thing to do? Right? To say, should they just have had a natural death? And she convinced herself. But Boy Cavalier's idea was always to create a product he could sell. Like it was never about saving children to him, right? Dame got in bed with the wrong,
Yeah. And that's why I would like to know what originally they were thinking, because I'm not sure how you could. I don't know. Realistically, I'm not sure how anybody could think this was a good idea unless that wasn't how it started. Because, clearly he's not going to. They're not going to have autonomy. They're not. Yeah, they're just like he said. They're floor models. They're not.
Yeah, but I think they lied to the parents for one. They did a lot of lying. They lied
to the parents, definitely. But I think that's why I'm saying, I would like to see a flashback of why they originally got involved in this. Was it more like they thought, save them at any cost, but didn't really think things through? Or
I mean, I think 25%. I think like maybe 25%, 20% of the science fiction genre is about like the hubris of humans with technology, like technology gone amok, right?
Well, like Frankenstein.
Yeah, since Frankenstein
Since Frankenstein.
up to now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Good call, Scarlett. Excellent call out with
Thank you.
Frankenstein.
I like to call out Mary Shelley every time I can.
Deep cut there. Excellent. That's
Well,
like
I mean, that's the whole thing. That's like the man wanting to create life, and women can only create life, kind of a thing in her age.
yeah.
It's messed up when you don't create life naturally.
Yeah. Going back to the whole monster comment, Golden Child says the kids are only acting in self-defense and they're kids, so I wouldn't call them monsters. I agree that I think the question with the episode title is who are the monsters, and I do think they're talking about the humans. But yeah, I don't know that the kids are monsters. They're kids. They may be doing bad things, but I don't know how much of an understanding they have of.
But they're also
right
the
and wrong.
repressed, as
they're
opposed
pretty
to
monstrous. They're pretty monstrous by the end.
They're monstrous, but like I said, they're also. Do they have the mental capacity to understand, like morally, that what they're doing is wrong?
Okay, but if you put that mental capacity into a superhuman body with a computer brain, have you created a monster?
Yes, I say in that sense, yes. But
I also don't think what they're doing is
themselves.
necessarily wrong from their perspective.
From their
that's what I'm saying. I don't know that the kids
or from
themselves,
a like overall perspective,
like what they've created, yes, but the actual kids part of it, like their consciousness, are they monsters? I don't know, because like I don't know that they understand, because it's just like whenever her brother tries to explain to Wendy, Joe says, and this is later in the episode, whenever he says, he stopped Nibs, he's sorry he stopped Nibs, but he did it because she was hurting.
Okay, this is another question I have, Jamie. Why did they say his friends?
I know.
Are friends that are humans to Joe in the show? No one.
Friends.
The other soldiers. Joe was in that group of soldiers. They're his friends.
Oh, so all soldiers are supposed to be his friends.
They're from his unit. They were in his unit in episode 1. In that unit. Yes.
They were?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they were.
I didn't know that. I thought they were just random soldiers.
But my point with that is, when he says that to Wendy, like, I'm sorry I hurt her, but she was hurting somebody else, her immediate, thing she jumps to is, well, then, I mean, she says, are you saying we're not human? I mean, she's basically saying, well, then you're saying they're more important than us. I mean, that's like a child's response. It's not understanding, human life, whether you're talking about
they're not human
or their lives.
They're not
he's
humans.
not saying their lives aren't important, because he's saying he's sorry he shot her, but she's not getting that. All she's hearing is, my friends are more important than your friends. I feel like it's the part that
Joe has demonstrated throughout the 8 episodes, his intention to save all human beings, right? Like he's going to save, he's a medic. His job is he's the medic of this military group. He's the medic, and he's going to save people. But I want to dial it back a second, if you guys don't mind, to Golden Child's comment about the kids are only acting in self-defense and they're kids. So I agree. Monsters, but Misha replies like, so in that sense, so is the xenomorph.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like a wild
xenomorph
too. Like a wild animal.
Morphe.
Animals kill people. They don't do it to be cruel. They do it because that's what they do. It's not.
They're defending themselves, and the hybrids are defending themselves.
Yeah. Like the monster is the idiot who wanted to crash up onto the Earth with xenomorphs on board. Right?
Yes.
Or the idiot that wanted to make these hybrids in the first place. And put children in adult bodies.
Yeah.
But then treat them like children, but not adults. This is a bad plan.
By the way, just quickly, Doc, hi, thanks for joining us. We're going to come back to you. I got your comments saved, and we're going to come back around to your thoughts.
Yeah. I was just saying, though, my whole point of that wasn't of whether Joe was right or she was right. I was just saying, I feel like the only thing she got out of that whole conversation was, my friends are more important than your friends. Like, it's like
I think what she got was hybrids are not as important as humans.
Yes, I think that's what she was saying
too. But I'm saying, I feel like that's not what he was saying. Like, she was not understanding what he was trying to say. Like,
but that's the impression he gave her when he shot Nibs.
I guess, but I guess in my opinion, he wasn't saying Nibs isn't important or Nibs shouldn't be saved because she's a hybrid. Because he even said, I'm sorry I shot her. I feel bad I shot her, but she didn't hear that part. All she heard was, she doesn't matter, my friends.
Yeah,
matter.
yeah, but I think their plan
Right, well,
was to try.
you're getting ahead of. We're not at that.
I think their
last
plan
time.
was to try to attack the humans so they escape on the boat.
I mean, I have some thoughts about this also, but
Yeah.
I'm going to save them because we're
Right.
going to
I am
come to that scene in a bit, right?
further, ahead.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, she gets upset and she breaks the tablet because she can't turn it off because
Dame's being
Too much
tortured
guilt.
by Wendy here. Yeah.
She feels guilt.
Because
Yeah,
Wendy,
she does feel guilt. Yeah.
yeah, she definitely knows now that what she did was wrong. I just question how she felt at the beginning.
Yeah, but I don't know what lies she was told in the beginning by Boy and the whole
And
corporation.
that's why I would love to see a flashback.
That's a
of
good
that.
point, Scarlett. Like Boyd might have told her, "I need a mom for my lost
Yeah,
boy."
it's going to be great. We're going to save children's lives. It's going to be like, St. Jude's forever.
Yeah, because she's like the psychologist who's supposed to be helping them navigate their adolescence. And later in this episode, Boy says some really dismissive and horrible things to Wendy about he never really has considered them people, right? And Dame was the person who really, I mean, as you guys have pointed out, I think it's really important for her to believe that this will succeed because she can't, she can't have killed 6 children. She can't have killed 6 children and maybe robbed them of whatever limited, they were all going to die anyway, but did she steal their last 2 weeks from them with their family? Right?
Yeah, I mean, I think the flowers is symbolic of that because Wendy says she gave us a flower and then she did the procedure and then she put flowers on the graves. So the flowers have a lot of metaphor to them.
Yeah.
She might think they're already dead because of that.
Yeah. I was just going to say, since we did talk, I know earlier about our ratings for the episode.
Oh yeah, Doc, on a scale of 1 to 10, give it something, Doc.
Yeah, because you say you're disappointed about the finale.
We're going to come back to all your comments, but give us a 1 to 10 real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, that was the end of that scene. Then we have.
I love that shot.
That shot's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I agree. I love a lot of the stuff they've shot. But so Morrow is unconscious. His arm has been covered up, so he can't use it.
It's a really weird covering. Because he can use it as a weapon later. Why didn't they put a covering on it that was lighter, more
cloth-like? I was kind of surprised that he didn't remove his arm, to be honest. But
Kevlar-ish.
Yeah. Doc says final episode 6, season 8. I think I'd rate the season a little higher, but yeah, I said 6.5 for the episode.
I think Doc's right. So I don't know if Doc can see the earlier comments. Everybody came in between 3 to 7 is where everybody came in on this.
Nobody loved the finale. Let's put it that way, right?
One thing I love about this shot is that the cell is not actually, it looks like he's in his deep, deep, deep pit, but he's actually in a normal cell, right?
Yeah, it's just
I like how they look like bird cages.
Yeah.
I do, yeah. Well, it's kind of tall, but yeah, I don't think it's quite as tall as it looks. And that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that they didn't. I don't know if he has his own arm. I don't know. I viewed it as a cyborg attachment, and I'm just thinking, why don't they just detach it? But maybe they can't. Maybe it's still his arm.
That wasn't a better idea.
I think it's an arm that he has implants in it, or it's
that makes sense.
It works from the shoulder, right? It seems to me to be attached somewhere below the shoulder. Is it a fake arm? Is it? I think it's enhancements of his arm.
I thought it was just cyberpunk enhancements.
I don't think. Yes, I don't think he's the T. Is it the T-1000 who can turn his arm into a spear or whatever?
Oh, like Mercury his arm out or whatever.
Yeah, but he's purely mechanical, right?
Yeah.
Morrow is mostly human with cyberpunk enhancements.
Yeah, that's what I thought was more like a William Gibson.
I think to Samuel's point, chop off the arm. That little aluminum can they put over it doesn't really seem to really do that much, right?
And it's a formidable weapon as well.
Misha thinks Morrow can use anything as a weapon, meaning because he's so smart, that his arm can turn into anything, or he's just a smart guy who knows how to turn a pencil. He can kill 2 men in a bar with a pencil.
Yeah.
Right?
They should have wrapped it in bubble wrap, maybe.
Chop it off, man. Chop it off. It's the only way to be safe.
I'm just saying in the future, they got to have some Kevlar or some fabric that can go over it. Well, stop the knife and stuff to come out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't they have the technology?
It was a little funny that they did it that way, that they made it another weapon. But either way,
it looks very like almost 19th century.
Or Tin Man-ish.
Right? Yes, Tin Man-ish.
Yeah, well, a lot of this stuff still looks
somebody
old.
Get the duct work from the dryer and stick it over his arm, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So he's in there. They're sharing a cell.
Yeah, and the two of them have a conversation here.
Why do you think so these are the first two that are captured. That's why they're in the cell together, right? It's not because anybody. They're just the first two. This is the cell that they're.
I think it's also they put the humans together and they put the hybrids together and they put the aliens together.
No, they eventually put Kirsch in the same cell with those guys.
Well, later they say they're putting the adults together.
Yeah, they're putting the adults together.
But yeah, they're separate from the kids. But he couldn't put Joe in with the kids because I feel like he'd be trying to, help them. But either way, yeah. So he's talking to Morrow. He's like, "You shot me," and Morrow's like, "I saved your life," which, to be fair, he did at one point.
He did.
But he has this conversation and they talk about his lung, which I still would like to know whether or not Joe really needed to lose that lung or they took it for use and also to keep him compliant because he owed them. I wish we would have known that.
Maybe all the above.
Yeah, but either way, they talk about how he agrees that the corporation, if it gives you something that that takes everything you have more than everything. The corporation is not a good thing for either of them. Obviously Morrow is a bit more against the corporation maybe than Joe is, but
well, and remember, like, it's this corporation, but the whole world is split up now between 5 corporations, right?
Corporations, yeah.
So it is a God, sometimes I look at things that are happening in my own country with corporations like Citizens United that decided a corporation was a person. And I watched this and I'm like, is this the logical conclusion of where like the power of the corporation in my own society is going, right? It's pretty scary stuff.
Yeah. Our government may not be necessarily the best thing right now, but I'm not sure that being run by corporations is a good thing either.
Hell yeah, Jamie.
It's very cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Being controlled. The Blade Runner hits Alien. It's nice.
Yeah. So Samuel says they took the lung to make him their indentured servant and feed the xenomorph. Yes. So this is like a yes and. Yes, they wanted him to be beholden to them did he need the lung or they took it just to make him beholden to them and to feed the xenomorph?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just curious, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious if the lung may have been damaged. We don't know. But yes, that is why they did what they did. But I'm just curious if he really had to lose it or they could have just made him okay. It wasn't clear to me before.
And Jamie, you also said you're curious if Joe knows or has any idea. And I'm going to go back to Misha's multiple comments over the past couple of weeks. Joe's an idiot. And he doesn't probably of course, he's been raised and been beholden to the corporation for so long that maybe he's not capable of really like even thinking that way, right? We saw him try to go to med school. The corporation's like, no, sorry.
Like you have to realize somebody's pretty evil. I know we argue about evil, but to do that is evil. If he was okay and he did not have to lose his lung, we don't know. I thought we had this conversation before. I thought it looked like the attack was in his stomach, not in his chest. And I know we did have this conversation back then. I would have liked like a, I don't know, like a definite answer to that. Cause it's just something little that annoyed me. It wasn't important, but
I don't mind the ambiguity of that. And I don't mind the idea that Joe might have so I think Joe's been born and raised under this corporate structure.
Yeah.
And maybe isn't like, would he have a better awakening in a future season, maybe, right? Where he comes to I'm going to take Doc real quick. He talking about real life, their efforts to give AI corporate personhood, which I think are really dangerous and ridiculous when so many humans don't even have rights. And efforts to take away. As a woman, some of my rights have been taken away in this country already, right? Or in some states. So yeah, giving an AI corporate personhood, like what the hell? Like, is this like
people need
what
to be
we love
people.
about science fiction?
AI,
Science fiction
Like
takes
the last gasp of the AI bubble, or what?
yeah, no,
and that's sci-fi takes us all to the next level. That's why we watch it, right? Sci-fi always has been about like our fears along with it. So anyway, here's Mr. Morrow trying to like figure out some shit and how to get out, right?
Yeah. They're clearly not. He's not really getting Joe's help though, which I kind of think maybe he should. Like maybe they should be working together to get out of there. Although we know that Joe's dumb, so maybe that wouldn't have worked. I'm just.
And these guys are like the two opposites of like living under the corporate domination, right? Whereas like Joe sort of has resigned himself and is kind of dumb, whereas Morrow like sort of he took advantage. He did what he had. He's at a whole different level of involvement with the corporation, right? And he hated it so much that he flipped the script and was like, "I'm so loyal now because if I'm not loyal, I've wasted my life." Right?
Yeah, he's going.
Yeah, because he doesn't have anything else to live for.
Yeah, right. Nothing else to live for.
Yeah. Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for coming. So yeah. Then meanwhile, we have the soldiers. This guy.
Oh, I was thinking of you, Scarlett, when I was watching all this.
Siberia gets it there.
I forget red.
It was a good death. It was an amusing death anyway.
It was. But right now they're gonna go get some guns, and the elevator.
That's when it could have turned into a musical with a singing plant and stuff. That would have been great. Song and dance.
Yes.
I loved when that elevator opened because to me that felt like the ghosts in the haunted house that were
ghosts again
earlier, right? And someone says, "Did you call that elevator?" And Red says, "God saved me. God saved me from having to do it." And I'm like, "Oh, God is not helping you, sister. What?"
Yeah, I don't think this is a good thing. And oddly enough, stupidly enough, they all get in it. I was kind of like, why are you getting in it after that? I don't know that I would. I'd take the stairs.
And was it me, or wasn't there like weird clunking? Like, I'm like, do I hear the xenomorph in that elevator? Like, what is that noise, right?
Yeah. I would definitely would have avoided it. But no, they get in. They're like, why not? And they all get in. And then after they're in, and this is where he's doing the countdown. I like that picture there. She starts a self-destruct. I don't know if she actually set a self-destruct and stopped it or she just pretended to, but either way, she wasn't actually going to kill him. She was just scaring him.
I agree with you, Jamie. I thought it was a fake countdown to scare them.
Yeah, either way, it was definitely to scare them, and I don't think she had any intention of killing them. It was more just like she's playing with them. I think that's what a lot of this episode is. It's like she says later, hide and go seek. Like she's toying with them is what she's doing. So yeah. She scares them. They think they're going to blow up. They don't. But he is counting with her. So whether
Smee is counting with her.
He is counting with her. Whether he is part of it, just watching it. I think he was just supposed to be watching it. Because I know Scarlett keeps saying, why can't the other ones do it? I don't know. I think that only Wendy can do things. But then again, have they really tried to do things? Maybe they have their own powers. Maybe we'll find out.
Curly would try because she's the favorite,
Yeah. Smee is the best hybrid. The way he moves, talks, and acts is just like a child. I'm ready. I agree. I like Smee. Smee's my favorite too.
I agree. Kelly says I agree. Smee's my favorite and a great actor. And Misha says Smee needs an Emmy nod. I agree. This man needs an Emmy.
Yes, he's great. I agree. So yeah. Either way, at this point, Wendy is mad at Joe because he's watching what she's watching. She's looking at the different videos. And this is where he thinks they should rescue him. And he's like, are you so mad at her?
They should
rescue Joe.
Oh, Smee,
yes. And says, like, to Wendy, are you mad at him? And then he says, he's still one of us. So, yeah. Smee considers him part of their group, and
but Wendy says he chose them, meaning the humans.
I think Wendy's wrong. I mean, I think Wendy is reading that through maybe a more immature childlike lens, right? Like,
Oh, I don't think so. I think that it is hybrids versus humans.
And that was kind of my point with where I was saying she wasn't listening, because I feel like if the soldier was trying to kill Nibs the other way around, I think he might have shot the soldier. I think that it was more about life, not about whose life.
I mean, I agree. Scarlett, do you think that Joe was being like, I choose humans over hybrids, or he was like, I'm trying to save this person's life?
In the last episode, I thought it was clearly shown that he chose humans over hybrids, and that's why Wendy was so upset.
See, I didn't feel like that. I feel like that's how she saw it, because he shot Nibs, but he didn't kill Nibs. He shot her to, like, you know, turn her off or whatever. He didn't kill her. They had non-lethal bullets, and she knew she was, well, maybe at the time she didn't, but she knew after he only stunned her. And that's why I'm saying, I think that if it had been the other way around, and like that guy, the soldier, had a real gun and was aiming at Nibs, I think he would have shot the soldier. I don't think it was about one or the other. I think Wendy sees it that way, but I don't see it.
She sees it as a betrayal, and that's how the plot's going along.
She sees it that way. But, I mean, I do think that Joe thinks Wendy is Marcy and really his sister. And if he believes that Wendy is Marcy, then how could he not believe that? Okay, Nibs is kind of psycho right now, but how could he not believe that the other children are also the same as Marcy in that sense, right?
But I think he flips back and forth, though, depending on their action.
So. I think you're right, and I think he flips back and forth as to whether it really is Marcy or not, right?
Yeah.
But I think he acted to save that person without really thinking about whether it was I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, subconsciously, he knows she's a synth, right? I don't think Joe openly chose. Did Joe, like, in his mind? I don't know. It's a really hard question.
I thought that's how the episode was leading up to, when it was showing it was just in their body actions and everything, that he was just picking humans over the hybrids. And
Wendy, as like essentially a 12-year-old, can't really see it's black or white, right? There's no nuance. There's no, and it's always like, you adults are ruining my life. Why can't I stay out till 11 o'clock? What? Right? Like,
why do you have to repress me in this corporation and treat me like a product when I'm,
I'm
not a product? I'm not a human being.
The number one thing tweens say is like, I'm not a child, I'm a grown up. And you're like, no, you're not, right? Like,
but I can't grow up. You won't let me grow up.
Right? But that's a thing that you say, right? Doc says, I think Joe just plain opposes killing. Plus, Siberian, that's her name. Plus, Siberian and her team are his friends and couldn't let her be killed. He's a medic, so it makes sense. Yeah, I think he opposes killing.
You were pointing that out earlier too, Karen, that he was a medic. I mean, his point is to save lives. Yeah, but does he consider hybrids life? That's the point.
I mean, would he try to save Morrow if someone's beating Morrow up? Because Morrow's
I don't know.
I think
he helped him out.
Morrow's part human now, so I don't know. But either way, Wendy listens because she opens his cell, and there's also this voiceover too here about her father. I was trying to see.
What's that about?
The letter that she wrote him.
Oh, the letter. It's a flashback to a letter. Radiation is horrible. I'm so sick. Joe, can't you just leave? Can't you just come? Which was an issue like in last week's episode or 2 weeks ago, where he never, like, he was off world when she was off world when she was, or off the continent. He was really far away when she went to treatment.
Yeah, it seems like he's in some kind of disaster zone, helping people out.
And the Army doesn't just let you go home necessarily because your little sister is sick, especially not when it's run by a corporation. Like maybe nowadays the Army would give you compassionate leave, but not Cavalier's corporate Army.
Yeah, true. But yeah, she's having these visions. But is she having it? Is
he having it?
I think they're both having it. I took it as they were both remembering.
Oh, I thought he was thinking back to the letter he got from her. Because it focused up on his face in the cage before it started happening.
Yeah.
All right, fair. But either way, she opens his cell, and he's he
Well, she opens their cell. Like
Their
it's
cell, yeah.
not, her motivation is not clear to me at this point. Who she's letting out and why.
Well, I think she was listening to Smee. Smee said he's one of us, and she said okay and opened it. Like I think that's why she did.
Okay, but she has to let Morrow out also to do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think she cares one way or the other about Morrow. I think that she was
really. Morrow manipulated her friend, made him think his mother was like Morrow is the reason.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that yet. They haven't actually talked to Smee, and I mean, at least not that we've seen. I guess she might have talked to him.
Yeah, I don't think they talked about Arthur to anyone.
They haven't, but she has access to the entirety of everything on the server.
That's true.
Yeah, but but how much
which
of that
includes everything they see through their eyes.
Yeah. Oh,
yes,
the computer network.
But their trackers were turned off, so I don't think she could see all that at that point. I don't think that they've even talked to her about that.
If Kirsch knew that Mara was talking to Slightly, is it possible Wendy knew that also?
Well, she could, maybe she's seen things through Adam too, because he's mechanical.
Yeah, I mean, these are questions, right? These are questions.
So many questions, man. Yeah. I have like 30 questions.
I definitely think she probably could have. I just don't think that she did, and I don't think they've had time to tell her, or at least if it was off camera.
Yeah,
is my point.
Yeah,
but either way, she lets them out, and Morrow distracts the guard for a second, and then he goes to kill him. I don't have a picture of it.
That's what I'm saying. That was a bad choice for the arm to put that.
Wait, did you just skip the Kirsch fight, or are you coming to that next?
No, we're not to that yet.
Yeah, it's not there yet.
So he smashes his arm into the guard, his metal on his arm, and that's where Joe's like tries to stop him, and he tells him he's going to save everybody he can, and Morrow says.
See, so there's a point for Joe right there, the medic, Joe the medic. He's trying to save people.
Killing, right? Joe just opposes killing. He's not going to let Morrow kill that guard, even though the guard is oppressing them.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is where Morrow
Well, he's relatively knocked out at this point, anyway.
Yeah, but this is where Morrow says you better focus on saving the children because I'm going to burn the place to the ground.
Yeah, burn it to the ground.
Yeah. So yeah, then the fight. You're right. Morrow sneaks up behind Kirsch, and there's that is the plant, Scarlet. You're right. I was saying earlier that looked like another octo eye. It is.
Oh yeah.
That's the plant that was taken out. Yeah. So can we talk about this scene and this fight?
It was an awesome fight.
It was an awesome fight. I thought it was a really good fight, right?
Yeah.
We've sort of been waiting for Kirsch versus Morrow for a while. And then I kind of set it aside because it's not the most important conflict of the show, but it was a pretty awesome fight. I thought it was well choreographed, it was well shot, and it really looked like two people with superpower, or like an android versus a cyborg fighting, right? It did.
Well, what was he making? It looked like he was making some kind of electrical crown that would go over someone's head.
I meant to look because you asked me that and I forgot. I don't think it shows in this. Yeah, it does. It kind of looks like the collar maybe that was around the sheep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So maybe he's trying to collar
somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah, collar.
I got a question though, a really dumb question, but it's just like one of those little things that I'm like, why, that make no sense and isn't important, but I'm going to say it anyway and sound dumb.
That's fine.
What is the point of a synthetic dyeing their hair? Because he clearly has dark roots, like he's dyed his hair this one.
To make it look more real. More human than the human, Jamie.
Maybe he was created. Maybe he was created with his hair like that. He doesn't dye it. His hair doesn't grow, doesn't do anything. He was created to have that look.
To look
authentic. I'm just curious why he does.
All right, Misha gives the fight a 10 out of 10. Love the fight, 10 out of 10. Kirsch has become Doc's favorite character. I love Kirsch.
Mm-hmm.
Morrow is Misha's favorite character. And Doc thinks the actor who plays Morrow is definitely superior. He nailed his role and his acting was superb. He is very good. He's really good. And, he nailed this sort of he's this. I love those scenes with his little girl when we learned what he why he went on this mission, what's become of him, and I understand, I do understand his driving force to complete this mission. It all makes sense to me, and this guy is great. He is really great. Although Golden Child does like your point about the hair, I think.
Yeah, Misha says David dyed his hair. That's the character from one of the other one that they're kind of making him
What,
like.
Batty?
So yeah,
Oh,
could have
I
been
thought I thought they were referencing Batty from Blade Runner as well, because he really looks like Batty.
Oh, yeah, he does. Yeah.
Well, either way, it could be for that to reference somebody. I just was kind of just for whatever reason was like thinking, why does he ever
to make it look more human than human? That's the whole motto of the corporation of Blade Runner.
Yeah. Doc says, I don't think Marcy was constantly using her powers. I think she embraced them fully in the finale. I don't think she knew what Smee and Slightly were up to.
Okay, fair. Yeah, that's fair.
Either. You guys, I am going to really quick. I am going to run in the bathroom and grab a pill for my head because I don't have any more. My head's hurting really bad. So I will be right back. You guys can talk.
All right. Well, we'll talk about the scene a little bit more. Scarlett, how'd you like this fight?
I'm not really a fight person, but it was fine.
I mean, I
felt bad for Kirsch when he started like spilling out white liquid out of his face.
Oh, me too, right? And I kind of didn't expect it. Like I thought maybe Kirsch would prevail in this, and that Mara would be. I mean, in the end, they're both wrapped up. I did love the part where Kirsch, he's upside down, the milk is pouring out of him, and he's like, oh. When Smee and Slightly was like, oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. Take that and tie him up. And they start to tie up Kirsch.
yeah.
It's like, what are you guys doing? And they say, like, I don't know what they say. Jamie would have the exact comment, but they say something like, your time is over, it's our time now, I think is what they say, right?
I did like the John Henry comments.
Oh, how'd you like that John Henry story? Yeah.
Yeah. Because he he ended up dying of exhaustion, which Morrow might end up dying of exhaustion. Fighting the corporation.
And I felt like this is not the first time in this show that we've heard we heard Wendy earlier say like, oh, have you she doesn't say have you read Peter Pan, but she's like, oh no, that's not what happens in Peter Pan. And Peter Pan, Wendy grows up, and then Peter is mad and he kidnaps her daughter.
Because Peter Pan's a complete bastard in the novel.
Yeah. And later on we hear another people who are like, oh, telling a story, and someone says, no, that's what happens in the story, right? Like that story of John Henry where Morrow's like, he just ran that machine and he's implying that he's just gonna like beat the shit out of Kirsch, and Kirsch is like, wait, he died of exhaustion.
Yeah. It's almost the opposite. Because Morrow is working for the machine. He is working for the corporation. He's getting the samples for the other corporation.
Yeah.
WI.
Jamie, I hope you didn't take Tylenol, did you?
No, I don't take Tylenol. Tylenol don't work.
I took Tylenol today. I took 2 Tylenol.
Tylenol is like taking candy. I'm sorry. Tylenol does not work, at least on me.
I'm taking the Tylenol. I'm taking it.
And it's going to make you pregnant and autistic or something like that.
Oh yeah, is it?
No, I keep taking those decongestant I have because it does help when I get the migraine in the back of my head. Yeah. So
I mean, I had a migraine today, and I tried first is peppermint oil, and then I eat or drink something with potassium in it, like a banana. And then if it still keeps going, then I have to take the Tylenol. I got to take the Tylenol.
They've been better since I've been feeling a little better, but I'm still getting them.
Good. All right. So at the end of the scene, Jamie, while you were away, Scarlett and I talked about how Smee and Slightly come in here and tie both of them up, right?
Yeah, which is hilarious.
Oh, what a great shot! Look at that.
Kirsch, though.
But Kirsch did help them, but I guess he's a suspect, right, to them.
Huh? What? Who's a suspect? Wait, what?
Kirsch helped them.
Yes.
Slightly and Smee, but they tied him up anyway because they thought he was suspect.
Yes, and they're taking, Wendy. They all believe that the adults need to be rounded up, right? Like Wendy said to them, hide and seek, round them up, bring them here. They've been oppressing us. It's time for us to break free. Yeah. Like I don't think Slightly and Smee there's so much more Wendy's so much more evolved and advanced. They're all pretty childlike. And these two are way too childlike to see this whole like adults are
Yeah,
afraid.
but didn't they say that they were the new flesh or the new
They
toys
say
or whatever?
it, but I feel like they've been told it. I'm not sure that they're
Oh
really
yeah, that's right.
either one of those been like has gone through the evolution that Wendy has. Like they are very childlike, and Wendy told them, and I just feel like they're maybe parroting it a little bit, and they're not really quite there yet. These are two they're the most childlike, these two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
thought
and
Curly
you're
was
right.
kind of that
It's
way
like
too, because Curly was basically
Yeah.
treating Dame like her mom.
Yeah.
But maybe something will happen later where she's like, because I thought she might confront Dame and then have a talk and then maybe learn something from Dame that she didn't like.
Yeah.
But it seemed she was one way and now she's the other. But maybe, like you said before, Karen, maybe Wendy's this kind of mean girling her, you know,
Yeah.
kind of pushing her into
Wendy is just kind of like giving take all the adults. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He helped them. However, he didn't actually stop Morrow. He kind of used them for bait. So I'm not sure exactly helped them.
No, but I don't think he ever really thought they were in danger.
No, I don't think he did either, but they were scared. He could have helped them instead of just letting happen.
I guess, but I don't know. I do feel like these two are not really, when they say it's our time, we're whatever, I think they're like, yeah, Wendy, yeah, let's go for it. I'm not sure these two have gone through the kind of evolution that the girls have.
Yes, I would agree with that. Yeah. So she is starting to talk.
I love that. I hate it, but I love it.
Yeah.
What? The clicking?
When Wendy's like,
I love that thing. Yeah, I love the alien language.
Yeah.
Love this shot. I love this shot of them in the set.
The birdcage.
I think I must have skipped a couple pictures there because I have in order that this is where Adam tells Joe that Boy wants to talk to him.
Oh, okay. You gotta skip that.
Yeah.
And that was not suspicious at all. Like, who thought for a minute that wasn't a total? We knew that was a giant lie, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm behind on the pictures.
All right, just keep.
No, this is where Boy comes in.
You just pass a little nothing.
Well, no, I have the thing about Adam, and then I also have that Smee asked slightly if he thinks Arthur's still like there where they left him, and that's where he says it's.
Oh no, that's happened way earlier.
Yeah. Let's see. And then the thing with Nibs sneaking up behind Dame. That's why I said Oh, okay. I see what I did. We did skip part of it. You guys talked about part of it while I was in there, I think is part of it.
Just keep going.
All right. So yeah, the next thing after them tying up
Kirsch and Morrow.
and also Morrow does say he didn't kill his mother, but he slightly just slams the
I don't know. It's still so smart.
Well, why would you believe him? Like, is he just trying to save himself, right? He's like, by the way, I didn't hurt your mother. Really? Well, first of all, that could be a lie. Second of all, so you made me like kill Arthur, basically, for no reason, right? Like I'm trying to say my mother, and you were lying to me. Like you tricked me, right? Like,
yeah.
There's nothing helpful about that statement.
No, there's not. Either way, I'm just trying to figure out because I have.
It's all right. Just keep
clicking. See, some of this I was like, I think way behind because of.
Yeah, but Boy's in talking to them. It might go to another scene.
It's all right.
It might go to another.
I know where we're at now. We're good. Okay, so he takes him to Boy's office.
Adam takes Joe to Boy's office.
Takes Joe to Boyd's office because he wants the eyeball.
Look, Victoria. Hello, Optimus Prime.
I think the voice scenes before that. Though.
The what?
The voice scenes before that, though.
Yeah, but that must have been part of the other scene, I guess.
Yeah, let's not worry about it.
Well, I'm watching it in real time, and I can tell you that after the shot that you have, Boy is going into the cage.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if there's something I missed, you can.
All right, let's just talk. Let's just cover the show, you guys. Let's not worry about what happened.
Anyway, they did get.
He wants them to play nice, is what Boy is saying.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, the container's open.
Well, this is where he tells the story about his daddy being a drunk, but we can skip over that, I guess.
But he doesn't he says that when Joe comes in the room. I mean, so that shot.
He's saying it right now in this scene when they're in the cage.
in the cage. He says it in the cage.
Okay, that's
yeah.
what I said. I skipped something somewhere, but go ahead. Okay,
Correct.
So
so
he said the triodite, he was born from this triodite, became born a miracle, a
I don't
boy
care
genius destined to sing the world.
I don't care if the
Until
scenes
his
are
jealous daddy killed him first. But the boy, me, built a machine. The first synth. I was 6. I made him, a grown man.
Yep.
Distinguished. And yeah,
So-
one day my daddy came home from the factory, where he got the parts, I guess. And there was my synth. And here comes the scene with Joe sitting on the sofa.
All right, so Scarlett had the
Joe's
whole
scene starts
transcript
here,
there.
and that was the end of Daddy. And it goes into the Joe scene. They're kind of overlapped, or should I say my old daddy, because that night when we moved, he became my new daddy.
Oh my God, Scarlett's got the script.
No, I'm watching the scene.
Is it?
Oh, you got the scene on your TV right
And he
now.
was 6 years old. Oh my gosh, I made
Okay,
myself a
the
figurehead.
point is,
All right,
when he
I'm
was 6,
hugely confused right now.
when he was 6, he made a synth. He killed his father with it because his father was mean to him and abused him. And then he says, no, I'm just saying this is what he says. Not that that's necessarily accurate, but that's what he says. And he says that he knew a 6-year-old couldn't run a company, so he made a figurehead. And that was implying at that point that was, see, I thought we said this before, that it was, Adam.
So I really, when he said it, if we're going to talk about this right now, I thought that he might be implying that it was Kirsch when he says like he created his first
We
scene and the
talked
person
about
was
this
there.
earlier.
I don't know if it's either of them. Is it either of them? Because,
Well,
I mean, it's a
it turns-
6-year-old cobbled together synth, and Adam looks pretty good.
Okay, but I'm saying that at the time I watched it, I was like, oh, it's Kirsch, who can't age and is only an android. He's not as advanced as everybody, right? He's an early generation. And I thought that. I mean, so Samuel says same. I thought it was Kirsch when he said it. Some people might have thought it was Kirsch or Adam. Scarlett, you thought it was something else, which is totally valid. It makes a lot of sense that it was an early
Adam 2.0.
I mean, we talked earlier that how could a 6-year-old even build a robot, but whatever. And I think Jamie, like, as you said, like, he's like, oh, my father was abusive, so I built a robot to kill him.
Which he may have been, but
I mean, he might have been, but there's a lot of abusive people who don't kill their parents. Like, did he kill his father because he was abusive, or did he kill his father
because he's a psychopath?
Let me finish my sentence. Yes, did he kill his father because the father's abusive, or did he kill his father because he is a sociopath, a psychopath, right? Even from the age of 6. Like, why did he kill his father? Like, I believe his father could have been abusive, and he could also be psycho, right? Like, most people in an abusive family, it's horrible, but most of them don't kill their parent.
Right. Some of them do.
When they're 6. Most of them don't build a robot when they're 6 to kill
They
them.
don't?
No, Scarlett, I think that's the first time I've heard of it. Do you know some killer robots built by 6-year-olds?
So many. I could count so many in my lifetime.
Well, you're a teacher. You know a lot of evil 6-year-olds.
Yeah, I mean, they come to me and they say, how can I build a robot to kill my parents? And I'm
Can
like,
you help me build a robot?
Well, we could go. We'll go in the arts and crafts room, try to find something.
Yeah.
Cobble it together MacGyver style.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's that question, right? Like,
I like this. I bet Cavalier's father was a high-functioning alcoholic and boy stole his invention. That could be the case.
Oh, yeah, that's really possible. That's really
I like that he says in the scene, sweeties, your floor models, which is kind of...
And he says that late in the same scene, yeah.
Yeah, Marcy says something like, we don't belong to you. And he says, you're floor models, yeah.
I mean, Doc thinks I think he offed his father because of his own ambitions and warped perspective. I agree. I think he was already so single-minded and so hubristic from the age of 6, right?
Yeah.
He killed his father because he told him to stop torturing his pet.
Probably. I could see that too.
Yeah, I can see all of that. Yeah.
They do say that a lot of serial killers start out torturing animals.
And they do. And other kinds.
Oh my God, that is reminding me of this awful story. There was on the news today. I don't even want to think about. Thankfully, they got them and they're hopefully going to go to jail, but getting tried
Okay,
for
let's not talk about it.
No, I know. No, it's
I
something that
do have a
happened in
question though,
Pittsburgh. It
because I
wasn't
am
good.
watching the scene in
Yes,
real
Carla?
time in the real order, and Nibs, why is she starting to snarl and growl now? When did that come around?
Last episode. She did it last episode also. She hissed at some people.
Because they let the guard in and she's like kind of growling.
I
And
think
didn't
it
know.
happened around the same time she started talking to Mr. Strawberry.
Oh, so
She
it's Mr.
definitely
Strawberry's fault.
She definitely hissed last week also. Hissed at people at like an
Yeah,
animal.
she hissed at those soldiers.
I don't really get it, Scarlett. I don't know where it's coming from.
It didn't seem to be a generation point where she started, like trauma or something made her start doing it. It just was just there.
Yeah.
It was a character attribute, I guess.
Yeah. Well, she's a kid. I mean, she's
To make her look scary when she attacks his guard because she.
Oh, I like that. That's a good possibility too. She's imitating the xenomorph.
Oh,
maybe. Which is interesting because we've not seen Nibs have a ton of exposure to the xenomorph in the way Wendy has, but Nibs should surely have seen it in the lab and known it was in the lab and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or she could just be going more primitive, like Wolfie.
She seems to have taken her fighting style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
She's watching them.
Yep.
All right. So anyway, Adam takes Joe into Boy's office. All with
Joe, and this is when I texted Jamie whilst I was watching this in real time last night, and I was like, "Oh, I've had another Joe's a moron moment." I thought of Misha being like, "Joe's a moron." I'm like, "Joe," they're like, "Let's come to the office. We have an offer. It's so great. You're gonna love this offer." Really, Joe? Has Joe learned nothing from being around?
And then you see a containment that's open. You walk out. You don't keep going.
Well, before this, they told Boy to run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wasn't until later. That you're getting ahead again.
No, I'm watching it in real time, Jamie. I'm watching it in real time.
All right. Well, we don't have to recap the whole show in real time. We can come back to it, I guess. But I agree, Scarlett. So we skipped over the part where Wendy asked him to run. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, and also Curly asked Wendy to call her Jane.
Yeah,
because now we got Oculus Prime. Let's talk about Oculus Prime.
But that happens after this scene.
But we see Oculus Sheepulus is not in the containment.
Yes. And either way, it's like you back up. You don't keep going closer, but he sees.
I think Joe, first of all, Joe is an idiot. Second of all, Joe may not have known that contained the sheep. Like, when has Joe been in Boy's office before? I don't expect Joe to know that the sheep was moved here and that was the sheep containment. But I think when you see a animal carrier that's open, it's basically like you guys great open, right?
Well, first thing I think is maybe there's a xenomorph around, and I should be very cautious.
You should always worry about the xenomorph, right? Yes.
I think you should always assume xenomorph until you're proven wrong.
Yeah. Just to add, Golden Child said maybe Nib's connection with the Xeno makes her understand her defense tendencies. Maybe. Interesting.
I think it's interesting that you guys with Wendy, she's learning the language, but Nibs is learning the fighting.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all learning different parts of the xenomorph.
Yeah. Interesting.
Right. So I feel like as soon as Joe walked in this room and we saw that container 2 slides ago that Jamie showed, I feel like Knight Rider. Oh no, the eyeball. Right? We were like,
Knight Rider.
Oh no, the eyeball. And we're all worried about Joe right there.
Yeah, he was smart. Look, he was smart that he put himself in the containment box. I thought that was pretty smart.
I thought that was a smart move. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good style move. I'll say.
Yeah. Let's see. But let's see. I was looking and seeing.
So there's this whole great thing, this whole great almost battle with them where Joe locks himself in, and then Optimus is up there trying to break in and trying to find a way. And then Oculus Prime opens the feeding tray, jumps into the containment, and now Joe's got to jump himself out of the front door instead, right? It was pretty. I really liked that scene.
Yeah, I think it was pretty cool.
There it is. A little
But it's
hate.
trying to attack him. We have a lot of comments about the eye. That's what I was just going
I got a bunch, Jamie.
Yeah,
they disrespected T Oculus with all those slaps. It does get slapped around a lot in this scene, right? Like Joe slapping it, Wendy slapping it. I liked it.
Yeah.
We have a bunch down here, Jamie. I'm scooting down to the next bunch of them. I thought it was a great scene. Did you guys like it?
Yeah. I also, what I was going to say this.
Yeah, I think Joe. I think Joe.
Jamie, that goes to the end. That goes to the end, right? That's not part of that scene. You're jumping ahead with these comments about the zombie.
Wait, and make it a non. Oh, I thought it meant. Well, I was taking it as with the sheep.
You're taking it with the zombie Arthur.
No, I was taking with the sheep too. The sheep was dead as well. But yeah,
the sheep has never been dead. The sheep has never been dead. It went into the sheep when it was alive.
Well, I assume when it I don't know. I assume when it ripped out its eye, it killed it, but maybe not.
Okay. We have not seen it reanimated dead body. I think that goes to a little bit later. Okay. I'd love to revisit it at the end when we talk about the zombie Arthur, which is what these comments are about. That's
yeah. No, I was taking it as the sheep. I see now what
the sheep's never been dead. It was put into a live sheep.
Yeah. No, I just assume whenever it takes them over, it kills them. I didn't really think about it that way.
Oh, no, I think it's taking over their brain. It's taking over. We've talked at length 2 weeks ago about on the original ship, the Maginot, how it went into that old salty sea dog's body and then it jumped out. We discussed how that guy was like injured beyond repair. And that's why
the cat was dead. I mean, I think the cat was dead when it moved it.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it might need to like fix itself into, for maximum power, fix it into something that was alive, like take it over while it was still alive and healthy. But apparently it doesn't.
I think that the sheep has always been alive since it was put in there, given the opportunity to jump into the sheep.
Well, I think it was alive when it jumped in, but when the octo-eye jumps out, it's on the ground, so it's not alive.
Well, because octo, I think it goes up your optic nerve, it goes into your brain, and it's controlling stuff, and maybe
it kind of fuses with your brain. I feel like all those tendrils fuse with your brain.
So it's sort of symbiotic for a while. That's what I thought. We're going to see at the final scene. Maybe my idea has changed, but at this point, watching it, I assumed it was sort of like fusing with your brain, becoming symbiotic, controlling you. The way that we have talked about how certain fungi, the whole idea between The Last of Us is a true scientific thing where there's a fungus that can go into an ant and control its brain. And the ant is not dead. The ant walks around and stuff, but the fungus is controlling its brain, right? And that's what I assumed. Now, everybody who watches the show can assume their own different idea. But my idea was that you're still alive, but Octo is controlling you. And I was disabused of that by the end of this.
No, yeah, I get that. But my point was, as soon as it goes out, it's dead. Because you can see the sheep laying there dead. I mean, it died when it came out.
Well, because it's like an implant in your brain. Right? An implant in your brain was ripped out, right?
Yeah, it's keeping it alive. But anyway.
So Tia jumping through the feeding door was very smart. I think Tia is the smartest thing on the entire show. I kind of almost wish that Boy Cavalier could talk to Tia because
he will eventually.
Yeah, he thinks he's so smart, and Oculus
it will be a part of him eventually.
Yep. Oh yeah, it is so much smarter. I think it's smarter than any person on the entire planet Earth. Right? It is so smart. It's the real. We've said this before. It's the real apex predator of this operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Scarlett, what is it I missed that you were talking about? Was there something else you wanted to mention?
Well, there were scenes before this one. It was a soldier scene when they were coming in, and Dame. I like Dame when Nibs looking out the window and Nibs just drops behind her. Was pretty
that's
cool.
A good scene. That is a good scene.
That tapped when she turned around. She had this angry look, and then she smiled, which even looked worse than the angry look.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Dame was
I think some of this got out of order somehow.
When Dame was in a room and Nibs comes in there, and Nibs had been so hostile, one or two. Oh, look at that! She looks like an evil clown in that, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
with that smile. Like now I understand why they cast a woman with this like incredible mouth. So she give me
Yeah,
that.
I like her. She looks
Smile.
very pre-Raphael like those kind of like red-haired girls and those pictures
Yeah,
with the larger lips. I mean,
like a
a
pre-Raphaelite evil clown.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep, you got
Just
it.
because her features here are very they put some lipstick on her and made her look like a yeah, she's creepy as shit. And she had been so aggressive towards Dame, she jumped her like 2 episodes ago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, this one,
wondered
bring her to the cell.
I kind of wondered if Nibs could restrain herself from killing her or would really bring her back to the cell.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Well,
I
she
thought they
did.
should have set Curly instead. But I was like, oh well.
I think there's a level on which Nibs is maybe malfunctioning, and I can't tell if that's mechanical or the way like adolescents are just like in a malfunction for like 2 straight years, right?
Or
Like
maybe they took out, like when they took out her memories, they also took out some
Something
some like self-regulation.
yeah, some
Yeah.
telling right from wrong, like impulse control. Maybe they ripped some of that out. I mean, she's a kid anyway, but
Yeah.
you know,
It was limited anyway. Yeah.
yeah.
No, we don't know right now. Doc says, I love Nib. She's my second favorite character right now. The Octo, I'd be afraid of it for an actual actor, but it's definitely my favorite alien. It's definitely my
So me and Doc are agreements of our favorite characters then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are aligned.
I like Octo. All right. Well, back to what we were talking about here. So
there it is.
Trying to stop it. To stop. Okay, well, I'm sorry. And Wendy comes in and kicks it away, and
I was thinking she was going to stomp on it and kill it, and she doesn't, which makes sense because it should get away and be.
Yeah, we don't want Octo to die. We like Octo.
I mean, I want, as a human being, I think Octo should die. It's very dangerous.
But as a viewer, I like Octo.
Yeah. It's
I believe Octo I will become my overlord, and I will praise Octo I when it becomes part of me.
Here's Adam.
Yeah, Adam's there.
I think it's like the part where Adam was kind of a behind. He was such a minimal character, and then all of a sudden he takes on this big role that he's basically the father figure for Boy Cavalier.
Mm-hmm. But either way, he starts like beating up Wendy.
No, I asked you a question. How do you feel about that?
Oh, that he's the father figure.
That he came out of nowhere and now he's like Boy Cavalier's like fake dad.
I like it, and I feel like I should have seen it or at least like picked up on that clue. Because I definitely did not expect him to be synthetic and did not see that coming. I should have picked up on it and didn't. How do I feel about it? I find it interesting that if this is who he made when he was 6. I find it interesting he made a synthetic for his security, but I guess it makes sense.
I think it's interesting that Adrian Edmondson was in The Young Ones playing a character named Vivian who wore a jacket that said "very metal" on the back. The words "very metal," and his character on the show is very metal.
Mostly metal. Oh my god, the Young
Mostly
Ones.
metal.
Awesome.
And I think that's a big Easter egg that Noah Hawley threw in there.
Probably.
That's
for
great.
The lulz.
Yeah. Well, he knocks down Wendy and knocks out Joe. And he makes a comment here that he says told Boy Cavalier it was a waste of money. Who would make children immortal?
Why he's doing that gangster move of taking off his jacket and his tie like he's gonna just get himself dirty. You know, that classic move.
Yeah, and that moment,
move.
That's sort of a human moment when he says, like, I told him it was a bad idea. Who would make children immortal? It's very
yeah,
like then why would he says my programming, which throws I mean,
there's a way in which
into it.
Like, why would he?
I felt like it was really mean. I mean, there's a part that he's not wrong, but he says it in a way that's so dismissive and mean, right? Like in a way that an android almost shouldn't be able to be so mean. Like, I told him not to do it. Who would make children immortal? It's in a constant, like, he'd say, you'd always be saying, are we there yet? Right? He says,
I like that. I thought it was funny. Perpetual, are we there yet?
But he says, either way, he says, but that Boy Cavalier was a child at heart. No, Boy Cavalier is just a spoiled little brat. Is the thing.
Well, but it's because he says, Boy Cavalier is a child at heart. Later in this episode, Wendy will say, "You were never a child."
Yes. Yeah. Maybe he wanted that childhood he couldn't have.
I wonder if he. You said earlier, like, was he telling the truth? Did it mean he couldn't have a childhood? Did it mean he
was it just not the childhood he wanted? I mean, for all we know, his father being abusive could have been he didn't give him what he asked for. I mean, we don't really know.
Yeah.
But either way, he basically is like, it's something like his programming doesn't let him, or he'd say, "I told you so," or something like that.
My programming.
I was with Jamie. I didn't really catch on that he was an android, even though his name was Adam, Atom. And
What's up, Adam? Yeah.
I didn't really get it until
Adam's like the first man too. Did you get it? Did you get the reference? The first man, the first Sith.
Adam is the smallest building block of life, right?
Yeah, you get all that.
Either way, he's a synth. We didn't get it. They hinted
at it. Is he a synth? He's a synth, but a different kind of synth.
Yeah, but he's definitely full synth.
But he doesn't have a consciousness. He's
he's full synthetic. I assume that he is the one that Boy created when he was 6, but I don't know.
I assumed it also.
I didn't assume it, but it makes sense to me now that you guys say it.
Yeah, I definitely thought, and I'm like, oh,
he does seem very daddish.
Yeah. He's very dead, and he looks very much like a guy who could be the front for your corporation that a 6-year-old was actually running.
Yeah, which would make sense. But either way, Wendy, after he attacks her, is like, stop. And he just freezes because
I think she heard that programming line.
I don't know exactly what the programming line was, but it was something about.
No, he said all my programming dictated, and then that's when she actually can stop him, because I think she hears that he says all my programming.
Okay, so maybe she didn't realize it either then.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. So we had a question earlier in the chat, which I'm trying to find, and I'm not sure I can really grab it right now. Somebody mentioned earlier, like, so could Wendy always control everything on the server, and she just didn't? Somebody had a comment here. God, I wish I could find it, because they were like, this moment almost is like magic, right?
Yeah.
Where she's like, "Oh, I tell you to stop." It's almost like in the Matrix where Neo's like, "No, stop," and suddenly he can
he's like about the Q can dodge.
Yeah, but I think there was that line about him talking about his programming that made her realize she could control him.
I know, but she controls it. I mean, I guess she has Wi-Fi in her brain, and that's why she can control.
Well, she says something like he's on the network, like all the computers, and that's why.
I know, but she controls it just with a whim. So, does she have Wi-Fi? Does she have Bluetooth? Like, and like, why now that she realizes it? Did she always have this ability? And why? And somebody said earlier, why only her? Why not all the kids? Like, what has Wendy blossomed into a fully grown whatever in the way the other children haven't? Is she the only one who can?
Or did Boy give her something special that the other ones don't have because she was the first?
Right. Like,
that's
why?
not explained to me at all. None of those explained.
No, and she suddenly is like, stop. It reminds me very much of when Neo is like, no, and he puts his hand up and all those bullets fall down. He's like, it's over now. And Neo suddenly...
I do like that he's frozen except for his eyes. His eyes keep moving around, which is really creepy and cool.
Yeah, I love that. How his eyes are just, but...
It's horrific.
This moment for me felt, whoever said, like, it's like magic. I think it was maybe Doc or Golden Child who said very earlier... Yeah. This moment, it's more like magic, and is the show moving into fantasy? Like, does it feel like fantasy, and then does it like degrade your whole? I'm paraphrasing.
I don't think so, because I think the line about him talking about his programming made her realize she could control.
Yeah,
him.
And she said
so I don't
he's
feel
on
like
the same
magic.
network as the computers, so she can control them just like she can control the videos. So
I mean, whoever put that comment in the chat, if you'd like to rephrase it, I'd love to see it. But I felt like, for me, it just felt very much. We've seen her for a while be able to control computers in a way, but she's like, oh, I can control everything on the server. They report to me, whatever. And I'm like, oh, you just realized that. I guess I wish I would have seen, like, that's a huge moment for her, maybe. But it did feel a little bit magical, maybe.
Well, it depends if you consider Adam a computer or not. If he's a computer,
Yeah, that's why it's
like everything
being
else, you can control him.
Well,
like
she
everything
says
else.
he's on the network, and therefore I can
network.
make him do what I want. She says he's on the network, and so I can make him do what I want, right?
Yeah, he's a computer. That's how I took it. So I definitely.
Well, his brain is a computer, and her brain is a computer, and so she's
so
more
you think
powerful.
Any sense, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not saying I hate this moment. I'm saying I have a lot of questions around this moment.
But it could also have been him attacking her and her having more, emotion, as much emotion she can have, that stopped him as well.
Yeah.
The power.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Doc is saying the fantasy aspect for me was Teocelis reanimating a corpse. But yeah, the robot
That's real, Doc.
But yeah, the robot magic is a bit fantasy, but it can at least be explained with sci-fi stuff. And that's the thing, sci-fi stuff. It's just sci-fi. It's just, she's like, oh, they're on the network.
I was surprised.
I was surprised. And I wonder if next season we'd see the younger children be able to mature to a level that they can do this. Is it Wendy? Is it all of them? That's the big question, right?
I would think it would be all of them, but,
Yeah, but they don't explain it. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is that random hand in the bottom?
Random hand where? There's a random hand?
A black robot hand laying on the floor. What is up with that?
That was a weapon. That was a weapon that Joe picked up to shoot the little eyeball with.
It's not a hand. It's a gun.
A weapon.
Okay. Anyway, so there's also where the
look at him. Look at Ocelis. Look how cute he is.
Yeah, he's gonna go down the drain or whatever, down this little hole.
Yeah, because
down the rabbit hole.
Because Sam says, I think the feeding door is designed not to open from the inside. Octos would have to put a wedge in to keep it open.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the beginning of that. Because
there's a lot that we're holding for the zombie.
That cells jumping through the feeding tube, like that seems like a plot hole. So it could always just escape through that if it wanted.
Well, yeah, right.
I think it wanted to stay in the sheet because at that moment that was the highest intelligence it could get into.
Well, that's the thing. It came in from the outside of the feeding tube, not from the inside. As you put these comments backwards, like jumping through the feeding tube seems like a plot hole. Could always just escape through that if it wanted. No, it couldn't escape. It was because of the later comment where it was only from the outside that could open it. Couldn't be open from the inside. Could only be open from the outside.
Yeah, because it was already outside the containment when it went.
It was outside when it opened it and jumped in. Yeah.
Doc says there was a streamer who called Adam being a synth and that he was created to take the place of his father so he could run the company. They must.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know because I didn't get screeners, but yeah, they definitely could have. Maybe that was why. Maybe
if somebody called that is a. I agree. Maybe they saw screeners because that would be an incredible thing to see.
I think that's
the season. Yeah,
crazy thing to have thought before now.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right, so there's our little baby Ocelis.
Yes, Simon also says maybe it was waiting for the right time to escape.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like that. It is. I like the idea that it is so smart that it waited and it didn't take. If it had other opportunities, it didn't take them. It's waiting for this very moment to find its way out, and it tried to get to Joe multiple times, but now Wendy shows up. I think it had a chance to try again for Joe, and it's like, no, forget it. I'm going down the drain. Let me go down the drain. By the way,
Wendy kept smacking it and kicking it, just like it was a ping pong ball.
It doesn't. Okay, Misha says that it's pretty clear he was a synth. Look back to when he catches the ball. He catches it like Wendy.
Yeah, people were doing the ball reference. Yeah.
Okay, so Misha, you thought it was pretty clear when you first saw him, or you're looking back now and recognizing it? Which is, I'm not accusing you. I don't really care. That's awesome if you noticed it. It's awesome if you noticed it right away because I didn't, but I don't always see that stuff. I'm not the most.
There were some people
I have
just the
not
way he
either.
acts too, how stiff he acts.
Yeah,
and
I think you could maybe have guessed he was a synth. I just think the whole father comment, it sounds like maybe they got from this episode. I don't know.
Yeah, the idea that he was created as the father figure
Yeah,
and
I think
the front to run the corporation until Boy Cavalier was old enough to take over. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm not sure how you would know that if you didn't.
All right. So this scene now we go to.
Yeah, so
Wendy and
he's
Joe.
corrected. So so this is where Joe says to Wendy that he's sorry about Nibs, and we sort of talked about this, and that he had to because she was going to hurt his friends, and this is where she says, "Are you saying Nibs isn't people?" And that isn't what he said. And she's like, maybe you should call me it. Like she's definitely getting ahead of herself, and that is not what he said. But we discussed that already earlier.
Actually, this was a real moment where I don't know if anybody in the chat, Scarlett, you work with children who are younger than this, right? If anybody in the chat is raising an adolescent, I felt like this was a real moment where she's acting like a child, right? She's like, "You did this," and he's like, "Stop!"
Adolescents.
Right? Oh, you do? You work with adolescents also?
Yeah, I've taught kids from 3 to like 18.
Okay, so I thought in this scene, Wendy was acting a little bit more like a child again, or like a tween again, where she's like, "You did this and that. You chose this," and Joe's like, "I didn't say that, Wendy," and she's like, "Oh, you're, you know."
Yeah, she's hearing what she wants to hear, basically.
Xenomorphs are honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the way that young people do, right? In the way that young people often hear with and have this like idea, like, God, I remember being that young and just feeling like nobody understood me. My parents didn't get it. They were against me. They were trying to ruin my life.
I can still understand too. She's also a hybrid. Like when she's saying the Xenomorph thing, he says we're food to them, and she's like, we're not food to them. The hybrids are not food to them.
She actually says you're food to them. I'm something else, right?
Yeah.
So
she doesn't like on top of being an adolescent child put into this body. She doesn't know who she is.
Yeah. He calls her a child too with the way she's acting, and she says it's better than being greedy.
Well, all tweens hate when you call them a child, right? Yeah. They hate that.
That's when he says the world is complicated, and she says she likes aliens because they're honest, and then the food comment, and then
she says, go ahead, say it, Jamie. You got it.
Yeah. He says they're predators. We're food to them, and she says, no, you are.
Oh no, I was gonna say he said like the world is complicated, and she says, don't say that. Complicated is what people say who are powerless
people say to make doing nothing okay.
Yeah.
And I love that line because that's kind of true.
So 2 things. Misha says, I don't think they've reached adolescence yet. I mean, you're right. And it was very almost in the first episode where there was a comment about giving them synthetic hormones to try to simulate adolescence, to try to have them grow through this.
I have no idea what they're doing here because they're putting the kids in. They were going to give them hormones to make them older, but not too old, not adults. Yeah. It's so confusing to me. This whole program confusing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Misha also felt like this scene was filmed the same way, like the motion is sped up or it's filmed backwards or something. Like it felt a little weird.
No, she means him catching the ball. She was still talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so back to back to the whole thing about like Wendy being like, it's because most adults are hypocrites. It's true. Like there's a part of this show where the adult who are the real monsters inside of the show. Like, are they the monsters? Are the kids less hypocritical? And Wendy even says, like, I like the aliens because they tell the truth.
And she says that she doesn't know what she is. I'm not a child or grown up. I'm not Marcy or Wen.
I think this is where Sydney Chandler's really shining here with us.
Oh yeah, she was great.
I can't
right?
be what everyone wants me to be. And then that's when he just says, "I know I fucked up," and she says, "Don't say it's complicated. That is what powerless people say to make doing nothing okay." And I'm not powerless. So that's when she says she's rounding up the grown-ups.
I love that because I think a lot a lot of young girls could say this, maybe a lot of young boys also, like, I'm not a child, I'm not a grown-up, I'm not what you think, I'm not like that. That is like a definition of adolescence right there in that couple sentences, right?
Yeah, she's somewhere in between, and she doesn't know how to define herself.
But she's also a hybrid.
She's also a hybrid,
Which is what all adolescents are, right? Like
yeah.
all adolescents are like not adult, not a child. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I'm not.
But she's also in a superhuman body. A superhuman body.
Except for
She's
that.
a hybrid.
That,
she's being oppressed. Her whole race, I'm going to say, is being oppressed.
Yeah.
The hybrid race.
They wanted to give them hormones
to
stimulate the prefrontal cortex changes that come with adolescence.
Yes, but except I think that they were simulated hormones because they don't have a biological.
Yeah, that was in the first one when they said they were giving them hormones.
But I'm quibbling. Misha's totally 100% right. Yeah.
Anyway. So then also there's this thing which I love where she pushes Adam.
Knocks him over. Yeah, that was awesome.
That was awesome. She also says that she has something special for Boy that she's got.
I like his eyes move though. His eyes move.
Yeah, I love that. His eyes are looking back and forth. I mean, she says I have somebody like all the kids have been sent hide and seek. It's just I have somebody special looking for Boy, right? Is her thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Guess who? We know who. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's running through the halls. I feel like
he's not running. He's not running, Jamie. Well, he's skipping. He's skipping in the most. It's very childlike, and it's very dismissive of the danger of the situation. What did you guys think about him skipping there?
Yeah, I didn't really think about it. What I was more noticing is this is when he calls people, and he's like, "The first person who saves me gets $1 million." $1 million. Like nothing can touch him.
Did you guys think like $1 million was nothing? Like right now, $1 million.
I know. I was thinking
that's pocket change to Boyd. That's what Boyd finds in his couch.
I mean, honestly, $1 million is not that much right now to any corporate CEO. And like 200 years in the future, $1 million is like what, $50? He's a trillionaire. $1 million is like $50 in his pocket, right? Like
I'm saying it's a change in his couch.
I'm gonna risk my life for you. It better be more than $1 million.
It's nothing. Remember that old story? They would say like if Bill Gates dropped $20 on the floor, it cost him more money to bend over and pick it up than to just burn it and keep moving, right?
Yeah, that he would make more money.
And I feel like Boy Cavalier saying $1 million. I'm like, what? How about $100 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just a game to him.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of comments here. Misha, I love the skip. So clueless. Doc, him skipping seemed fitting. And with inflation, 1 million is probably 10K back then. What 10K? Fair. So he's offering a pittance, right? And yet Joe probably has no money. All of them have no money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So to them, it's a lot of money, even if it's a pittance to him.
$1 million is a paid off house in some places. Definitely. I'm just saying if you are a corporate CEO, like today, I'm not, Samuel, I'm not trying
$1 million is a lot of money to some people, but to him it's not, and they know it's not.
Well, I'm saying I said $1 million is not that much today. I didn't mean it's nothing. I mean to a corporate CEO, $1 million is nothing. It's a lot to me. I don't have $1 million.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I just meant to like a person.
To him, it's a drop in the bucket.
A person in Boy Cavalier's position, even today, $1 million is not that much. Is what I meant.
And I would be saying, if you want me to risk my life, it better be worth more than $1 million.
Yeah, but he would do it if it's like even the rate of inflation, it's 10K. He would do that and throw that to a soldier or something, like like a $100 bill, like a rich guy would throw $100 bill to somebody who works in retail.
Like Golden Child says, $1 million doesn't even make a decimal point in his account, in Boy Cavalier's account. Like he's a trillion. He was the first trillionaire ever. He probably has multi-trillions. So to say 1 million, it might be worth $10,000 to any person on that island right now. But skipping feels nice. Misha's going to try tomorrow. So what do you think about him skipping? What do you think about him skipping in that scene?
I think it shows he's not scared, and he should be, but I also think it's just another reference to him being childlike.
Peter Pan,
yeah.
I mean, I felt like there were multiple times in this episode up to now where he kind of was scared. Like when Wendy opens that door, he's a little scared. and there's other times when he's scared, and yet
I think he also, though, kind of thrives a little bit on it because I think he's so bored all the time that to him it's kind of like, oh, this is new. It's kind of like how the Doctor gets sometimes when he doesn't understand something.
I mean, Doctor Who, yeah,
it's such a great thing because I don't know what it is. Like it's that kind of thing. He's almost like, ooh, something fun, like because he's stupid. I mean, he's a genius, but he's a stupid genius. That's what I said. He doesn't have to have common sense just because he's a genius.
To me, the skipping was out of. It took me out of the scene a little bit. I had to really think of like, why is he skipping? What is that all about? It seemed a little too childlike and a little too. I mean, if I'd seen him walking, like
maybe it's an anxiety thing.
Maybe the skipping was surprising to me. We've not seen him exhibit that level of childlike behavior. Maybe
I think
that
it was
level of.
It
seemed lackadaisical in light of like your imminent death, right?
That's why I said I think it was more meant as a choice as like a metaphor, not that it necessarily made 100% sense, right? Like
or maybe he's in his element. Maybe that alien drilling into his eyeball would be like, oh, I'm getting so much enlightenment for this. It's so dangerous, and I'm gonna die. But finally having that conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, Misha's saying, like, I mentioned that when Wendy opened the door, he looked scared. Misha thinks he didn't look scared. Surprised, yes. Afraid, no. I thought he was a little afraid. I thought he was afraid.
He kind of laughs at the end, too. At the end of that.
Yeah, I don't think he's scared. And just like we said earlier, I think he thinks that if he offers people money, they'll protect him. He doesn't.
I mean, laughter can be a nervous response.
Yes.
The skipping can be a nervous response.
I guess, yeah, especially if you're a maladjusted, freakish man boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, he goes out into the hallway and he still does not see the alien until it's like right on top.
Oh, love that. But
and then
I do think
look.
Nobody looks at the ceiling in the show.
Yeah, I know, right?
I love this shot. So the xenomorph is small. This xenomorph is an adolescent xenomorph, right? Like it is it's pretty small. It's growing a little slower.
It's a baby.
It's a baby. It's an adolescent xenomorph.
It's got pimples.
Yeah. Great shot.
It's the same age as Wendy, you know.
Yeah, it is.
It really is, right? They've sort of grown up together.
Yep.
Yeah. So either way, he finally is a bit scared there.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah. And Wendy is telling it to kill people, but instead she has it kill the soldiers behind him. So she didn't intend to kill him yet. So yeah, it kills the soldiers behind him, and then he's like help me up. Like he's like, oh yeah, okay, this is cool. Like he still is like, this is fun. Like he doesn't get it. Like he was scared for a second, but then as soon as Wendy saved him, he's like, oh okay. Like he's not.
I mean, Misha thinks, I don't think he's capable of being afraid. I get that, and I tie that to his insane ego, right?
Yeah. Either way, he thinks now that he's like, oh, well, she can control it, so she'll keep protecting me. And then
why would she do that? Why would she do that?
Yeah, they won't help him up.
And then Joe smacks him in the head.
Oh, here we go. Here we go with our soldiers.
Yeah, so meanwhile, the soldiers go into the lab, and she
it's very smelly and very nasty
by that plant. And I don't think she didn't actually shoot until she was up inside it. So I think it was more shock. I don't think that it
got her from behind. It comes from behind, right?
Scarlet put some special sauce on her too before.
Oh, it's scorching. It squirts her with some special
there's a little alien
right?
too. Little guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was blood dripping. I thought it was like oozing her. I
thought when she's eaten, it's blood, right?
Yeah.
But it gets her from behind, and I gotta say that I think I've been waiting.
Yeah, stop saying it gets her from behind.
From behind, gets her from behind. Hoo-hoo-hoo. No, I've been waiting for this for a while. Like we've been waiting for Audrey 3 to eat somebody, right? Like this is like Chekhov's plant. If Chekhov's plant appears in Act 1, it will eat somebody by Act 3. And we have not. We've been waiting for it to. All the other aliens have sort of had their moment, and this thing never did anything. And it was kind of. It was kind of great to see it. Like, I know some of us like Siberian a lot, Scarlet. But what'd you say to me? She had a worthy death.
She had a good death.
Yeah.
And if you gotta go, if you're an actress and you gotta go, an actor, you gotta go. This is a good way to go.
Be eaten by Audrey 3, yeah.
Yeah, you'll be known as the person that got eaten by Audrey 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is also where Curly punches out the other guy.
What other guy?
The other guy that was with Siberian.
Oh, the other guy. Yeah.
Yeah, she smacks him with like a one of those tubes.
Yeah, but my question is he isn't in the cell though. So what did she do? Just knock him out to get killed?
Just killed him. Red shirt.
I guess because they don't.
Killing people is not really a thing they worry about at this point. The kids are.
No, but I thought she knocked him out because she was going to bring him to the cell. But I don't think he was in the cell.
Well, who go to the cell are the main adults. Nobody goes.
You have to be a main character to get in the cell.
Yeah. So then we go to the beach.
What's your favorite scene, Jamie?
We have so many comments on this, you guys. We're gonna go through it, Jamie, and I'm gonna click all these after you.
First off, I'm gonna say, thought there was gonna be a scene with a doll's head going onto the beach, and that was just in the credits, I guess.
A doll's head? What?
In one of the opening credit scenes, a few episodes back, there was a scene with waves of ocean, and it brought up a doll's head. And I thought it was going to be important to the plot line in the finale, and we don't see it at all.
Theo Celis. That would have been kind of cool.
All right, Jimmy, recap this real quick, and we have a lot of comments.
Yeah, Celis pulls out his eye, it burrs into his head, and then reanimates him. Yeah.
All right. We have so many comments. I'm going to bring them all up and let's talk about them.
Yeah, I know there was a lot.
Talk says, I was disappointed with the finale. It gave me blue ball bearings, especially with the octo eye. Also, how can it make a non-functional body function?
Yeah.
And that was, I think, where before Misha said it's like a puppet. And I agree. I think it is like a puppet.
We'll get to that. Not only does the show not seem to believe in continuity. Okay, thank you. We'll talk about that. But the octo-eye using unalive bodies brings it from sci-fi to fantasy. Major disappointment. I kind of agree. I was really disappointed that it reanimated a dead body. I was like, are we now talking zombies? I guess I always thought that it had to have a live body. Now, we have an alternate idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this goes into its...
Did you guys, Jamie, Scarlett, did you think were you surprised that he could reanimate a dead body?
No, because I
thought it had to be living at first, and it would take it over, and then when it left, it would be dead. Like, it needs some kind of living connection, to connect to the brain, but I guess it can zombify.
I guess. Misha points out that the eyeball was in the cat when we first meet it. The cat clearly bought it in the crash, right?
Yeah, it was half a cat.
Yeah, it says the cat was dead. So that's kind of my point. Like, I was not surprised because it did the same thing to the cat.
I thought it preferred a living. Maybe this prefers a living vessel, but we'll take a dead one.
And essentially the way I understand it, Tia Celis is acting as the brain of the new organism. But isn't the brain already dead? Like, can it for it to reanimate a dead?
Well, it looks like it did.
Arthur's been dead for more than a minute. Like,
yeah, I could kind of like how you can take a body and like keep it breathing in a way, like with a machine. Like it's making.
Maybe that crab helped it keep breathing.
I don't know, because it's like connecting to the brain to like zap the brain to make it work. I don't know. I think
I could see that Celis jumped into the cat at the moment of death, before, after, shortly after, whatever. But Arthur has been dead for like 24 hours, right? Arthur's been dead for a while.
At least a little bit of time.
Enough
time.
Doc says, I don't know how to explain how TO cells can make a non-functional body relatively functional after losing so much blood and the hole in his chest.
Yeah, but I
And
don't think
also
it needs
crabs
the blood.
eating him.
I don't think it needs the blood. I think it needs. I mean, I assumed it needed the brain though, because
No, but a body needs blood to, like, once you stop having blood to your legs and arms, they start to necrotize and fall apart. And
Well,
like,
I don't think he's been dead long enough for that to happen. Although
Or
I don't
get,
know. He might
rigor
be,
mortis.
he's
Yeah,
been
I
in
was gonna
the
say he might have
ocean floating
rigor
around for like a day, for like 24 hours at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Mika
thought it
thinks
was cool.
it's
I
like
think
controlling a
Henry
puppet,
Swan-
which to me makes it like a zombie. To me,
Yeah.
it feels like a zombie, and I'm not really sure that I mean, we have a whole bunch of comments here that we didn't even like. I'm gonna flick through some of them, Jamie, real quick. Most zombies are more science fiction than fantasy nowadays. There are different kinds of sci-fi, and that's very different. 28 Day Zombies need functional bodies. They do. There are very different kinds of zombies. To me, I felt like this was a zombie. I felt like Arthur's been dead for a long time. I was really surprised that Acellus went into him. I felt like Acellus had many more options. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
So I did feel like, okay, so to be fair, when the xenomorph kills people, it shreds them into almost parts, right? So Acellus couldn't get into those guys, but there are people around, right? I'm like, really? It went all the way down to the beach and goes into Arthur.
I thought it was
I think
funny
it was
when all
more
way
the
to
shock factor. I think it was for the shock factor.
It's
They
cool, but
they wanted to keep the actor around for a while.
I guess I feel like there are maybe live options. I was surprised that Acellus went down.
Maybe
Although
Even
it was
animal
a
options.
live option. I
There's
don't know.
probably animals on this island too that are functioning, running around.
Yeah, I just, to
Probably
me,
not that. He hasn't been dead that long though. Like maybe
he's
But
been
he's floating
looking at-
around in
look,
water.
do you see him? Do you see him? He's been dead for a long time. He's been dead for a while.
like a day at most. I don't think it's been more than a day.
A day?
It's
Do you
not
think
fresh.
a day is like a
Not
short amount of
fresh.
time to be dead?
Well, I don't know. I think that as long as like the brain stem's there, it probably can like connect with the optic nerve. I don't know.
The shock it. Shock it
Yeah.
up.
Well, that's what I said. You can keep like a body, like its heart beating in that technically on a ventilator or whatever, keep somebody breathing even when they're dead. I kind of see it like that. Like it's taking over the controlling function of the body. Like,
But how can there be controlling function when he's been dead for 24 hours?
Yeah,
But
there's no
I
blood
guess-
flow.
I mean,
There's
I
just
guess,
no-
I guess.
There's a big
lot of
hole in
zombies-
them too. A big
it was
hole.
shock value, and I hadn't really thought it through.
I mean, I
You're
guess a
right.
lot of zombie shows, you're dead, you're in the ground, and you sit up out of the ground and you walk around. So I shouldn't be. But I agree with like people who criticize this as like moving into fantasy and zombie and whatever, right? Like, Arthur's been dead for a while. His chest burster came out. The boys dragged him to the beach. The soldiers left him floating in the water. He washed up. Crabs started eating him. The xenomorph wouldn't eat him. The xenomorph turned around and walked away from him.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Not
though,
fresh.
if it can like go inside a baby doll head and make it walk, isn't it kind of the same thing? If it's
But no, he was using it was. I feel like it was using its own little legs to walk. I feel like the baby doll head was like a hat that it was wearing.
I
It
guess
wasn't
that's
like
true,
a person that it was controlling, right?
yeah.
Anyway, to me, I was disappointed that I saw him animate Arthur because I assumed it had to be in a live body. And if it
Well,
can,
I was surprised. It gave me the second surprise of the evening. So
yeah. I mean, are you guys? I mean, Scarlett, Jamie, like, how do you feel? Is that a good development? Do you like that idea for next season?
I don't know. It really doesn't bother me. Like if you think about it too hard, yeah, it probably couldn't control him. And like Bill's saying there about the rigor mortis sets in pretty fast. So yeah, that's probably accurately true. But I mean, I didn't think about it. I just thought it was kind of cool. It's like a puppet, and I didn't really think much more than that. You know what I mean? Oh, you're going out, Karen.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay, now we can. You were like going in and out.
Okay.
That was just, I guess,
This
in a
is a-
trailer, Misha. I didn't see it. Scarlett had mentioned it.
Wait, when did it control a baby doll head?
It didn't control a baby doll head. I'm trying to figure out where Jamie's getting that.
You said it was from the trailer. You said there was a baby head in the water or something.
There was
I
a
don't know.
baby head. There was a baby doll head that washed up on the shore. It didn't have an alien in it. It was just a
Oh,
doll.
I thought it had. I thought you meant it had Tio Celis in it.
No.
Okay, never mind. That's my fault then. I said that.
But to me, I feel like it's all kind of fantasy anyway. None of this has happened in real life that I know of.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
It
in
doesn't
your
really
lives,
bother
but
me.
not in my life.
Like, it makes more sense what you're saying where it has to be alive, but I just looked at it as it was puppeting it. It connects.
Well,
to
I
its
think
brain
I might
stem.
prefer
I
something that's alive to something that's
brain,
injured. Like maybe its time is limited on somebody who's injured.
Yeah, it might only have so long it can stay alive in a dead body. We don't know.
So you guys, we have so many comments in the chat. I can't even go through them. We have so many comments about
Let's go through them. Let's go through them.
All right, I'm going to go back. I'll go back. Let me get to the top of this conversation. We have so many, and hang on a second. Let me get them.
I think something we kind of talked about.
I know, but we'll let's talk about it. All right, we're almost. Let me get them. Hang on. I got to go back above the. It was Siberia.
So do you want to finish?
Start with "It's Alive."
I mean, should we finish the episode really quick? Then go through the chat.
Well, you want to finish the episode first? Yes. Let's.
I mean, there's only a couple scenes. There's this really pretty shot.
All right,
with,
all right, Scarlett.
the
To your
CEO
point,
and the
yes,
flying
good
machines.
point, Scarlett. I'm gonna put a bunch of stars on this bunch so we can come back to
I mean,
it.
there's not much left.
No, let's do it. Let's do it, girl. Let's do it.
Real pretty shot.
All right.
That Jamie didn't get. A really pretty shot that Jamie didn't get of the CEO.
Oh, I love that shot. Go back to that shot.
It's beautiful.
I love that
I don't
shot,
know if there
right?
is a shot of it. I don't know if Jamie has one.
Of what?
The CEO of WY and the flight.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't
and the
think I
island.
watched it.
So
No, I didn't
beautiful,
get the
so
autonomy.
beautiful,
Yeah, it
and we
was.
can't show.
Yeah, sorry. No, I didn't get the clips or whatever.
It was
that
very
were.
Legion. I like those Legion shots.
Okay, well, sorry, I didn't get that.
It tells the whole story without, it's like a great show moment instead of telling. It's like her face, the plane's flying, you know what it is. You don't have to have narration.
Okay, well, Wayland Yutani's coming.
I love that picture of Kirsch laying like that because his back is broken, right?
He's had it, man. And I like how the boy is kind of tied up in a Jesus. He's kind of tied up in a Jesus Christ pose, which I think is interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like season 2, this is not gonna. Somebody's gonna heal him, correct him.
Oh yeah, he's still gonna be in the show, I think.
But I love that shot, and I love the bigger shot, which you might have of all of them locked up, and he's still laying there.
First, I have one of.
Oh, I love Boy. Boy is the only one who's tied up. Why is Boy Kirsch tied up? Because I think physically he's not a threat. He's only mentally and psychologically a threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his bodies gave out.
There's that picture there. Yeah.
Yeah, they made some comment that his body had given out. Me and Slightly did.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that. But
That's
either
why
way,
that's why he's so laying there like.
Yeah, I don't know. He's tied up though. Adam is. And I think where's it?
Everyone.
Yeah, no, she's not. I don't think. But
Morris tied up also. Misha says
tied up.
Morris tied up also. So a lot of the adults are tied up, I guess.
Yeah. So okay. Anyway, so yeah, they're all in there in that cell, and this is where Dame says to Wendy that she's sorry, but she's like, "No, you're not. You think that you did good, and all you did was put 6 children in the ground."
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, "I figured out your game." And she tells Boy Cavalier, she says, "You're not Peter Pan who didn't grow. You're not Peter Pan who didn't grow up. You're just a mean, angry man who decided to hate everybody like his daddy."
Oh yeah, she says you were never a boy. You were always a man, right? Did she say that?
Yeah. You're not. You were never. She says Peter Pan was a boy who didn't grow up. You were not Peter Pan. You were never a boy. Something like that.
Yeah.
But you were just an angry man who decided to hate everybody like his daddy or something like that.
I kind of agree with that, right?
Yes. yeah, I agree with her too. So yeah, he just has to kind of take it. And I don't know, Misha. She did look different in this episode because she had her hair down.
Yeah, in like a little hair scarf kind of hippie.
Yeah, she looks like a pirate. I thought it was like a reference to Peter
Yeah.
Pan.
Oh yeah, nice.
So the boy.
So Wendy gives that.
I call hybrids assemble. The hybrids assemble shot.
I love
they
this
all
shot,
show
right?
up together.
I love it.
Yeah. So Curly asks what they're gonna do next, and when Wendy says now we rule, and we see these pictures here with there's the xenomorph and the baby xenomorph, and I don't know why he starts laughing. I don't know if it's just he's completely lost it now, if he's like, she did what I because he created her. I honestly am not sure at that point, but he's laughing at them.
And then they have that song, the song that's like 5-1.
Yeah,
and
animals 5 against 1.
The shot we've seen for the entire season really has been the promo the whole season. So Wendy. If you go back, Jamie, like 3 or 4 slides to the bunch of the kids together, this one. I mean, I love that. Of course, Wendy's front and center. Ooh, that was cool. You had 2 and 1 just moved. And there's Nibs and Smee are in the front, right? And then behind them are Curly and Slightly. And I get that they can't all be together. Somebody's got to be in the front and the back. But I just kind of feel like in this season, Slightly was more front and center, and to see Smee take that position next to Wendy is interesting to me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it might be that Curly's not completely on Wendy's side. It might be revealed in season 2.
Yeah.
And Bill Chill, the closing thing she says is "Now we rule."
Rule the school.
That's interesting also because now we rule, but what are you going to rule? Like, you're on an island, you've been cut off for everyone. We know that Yutani has cut off the satellites. Their ships are coming in.
Yeah, you got 2 years on the island.
Well, no, they might have a day or 2 or 3 or a week before those ships get there, right? Like, I don't know when. I don't know when a season 2 would pick up, but now we rule. What do you think she means by that? Now we rule. Do you think she means we rule the Earth, the universe?
I think she means we rule the humans. We're the leaders.
Yeah, we're the Homo superior.
We're the apex predator, as you say. We're the.
Oh, okay. So you think that means
to the
Homo? Do you think that means we take over the entire planet?
Well, I don't know that they're just thinking of it like that, but I think if she's just meaning like we're in charge type of thing. Like,
but I mean, what do you think? In charge of this little space where we live, in charge of the world. What do you think? Do you think?
Well, you could start with the island.
I don't think she's really thought.
Or do you think if you think she hasn't thought it through, that's fine. That's what I'm asking.
Probably
I think she's just saying like we're the top species, we're the top dog. I don't think she's necessarily thinking after we control these people, we're going to go take over the world. She's not Pinky in the Brain. I'm just
world domination. Well,
I don't know. I think she's just like we're the boss now. We're going to do whatever we want. I don't.
Yeah. So Misha says this shot is more related to who's completely on Team Wendy. Nibs for sure. And maybe that means Smee is more Team Wendy. I mean, I think Smee is not Team Slightly. Did you notice earlier? We didn't talk about it, but very early in the episode, there's a point where Smee's like, "Oh, we killed someone," and Slightly's like, "We didn't. It wasn't our fault. We didn't mean it. They made us do it. It wasn't our fault." And he puts his hand on Smee, and Smee does this. Like, Smee shrugs him off and says, like, it wasn't our fault. And I feel like
I don't think he likes what Slightly did.
Smee is not down with Slightly, yeah. So to see him step front with Wendy makes a lot of sense, maybe.
And Golden Child says top species is a big deal. I think that she thinks that, just like she said, that to her brother, that they're not the food for the alien, only the humans are. I think that she's saying we're above you.
I mean, I kind of love the way this show might be about, like, in the entire Alien franchise was sort of about the xenomorph being the top predator, and maybe Wendy is the top predator. Well, Ocellus and Wendy are the top predators. Maybe Wendy's the top predator in a way that she doesn't understand. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right. If you want to go through the other comments about Ocellus and stuff.
We have a ton of comments to go through. I'm gonna try to skip through them in a different to get through some of them in a way that makes a little more sense. So let's talk about this, because this is something that is I've seen this in a lot of places online. Wendy has become Daenerys with aliens. So if you don't watch, Jamie, I know you didn't watch Game of Thrones, right? But you know who Daenerys is? Daenerys is like the mother of dragons.
Yeah, I know who she is. I know who she is. I mean, I don't know a lot about her, but
Wendy's become Daenerys with aliens instead of dragons and robot magic instead of dragon magic. This is not the first time I've seen that. Someone mentioned the Daenerys similarity. Someone mentioned the Daenerys similarity on E-Man stream. I don't know E-Man. I can't take the credit, but it seems true enough. I read it. I mentioned earlier that I read a review in Salon today, and Salon mentioned it. There's a lot of, not a lot. There's a few people who are mentioning that today.
But isn't it kind of like a trope, though? Not just like...
No, is it a trope? I don't know. I mean, just because it happened in Game of Thrones doesn't make it a trope, right?
No, but I mean, like being somebody at the top that can control something else, like that's sort of a thing in fantasy. It's not, I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it.
But Daenerys, I mean, it goes to a point where Daenerys was the person who had baby dragons that she could control. She had these baby dragons that sat on her shoulder, and then the dragons got larger, and she had a lot of power. And what happens is the power makes Daenerys kind of go insane, and she loses her shit, and she starts killing everyone at the end of it. And the conclusion, I guess the question is, do you think the Daenerys thing goes to that conclusion where she becomes like completely crazy, killing all these people who don't agree with her vision? Is where it's going?
Similarity is the potential to go bad.
Well, it kind of went bad in Game of Thrones, right? I mean, a lot of us who read the books didn't agree with where that went. But anyway, yeah, it went bad for Daenerys, and it could go bad for Wendy. And it kind of has to, I think. I think this show has to end with complete destruction of the aliens and the synths.
A Prodigy. Prodigy gets wiped off the planet.
Well, yeah.
Hybrids are just now another idea.
I mean, there's a reason why this is called Prodigy, right? And look, such a dysfunctional family, Bill says. Prodigy Corp. The worst dysfunctional family ever, right?
Pretty much.
Not wrong, but I mean, I think if you go to the Game of Thrones thing, it all went bad in the end. She goes crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And she starts killing everyone.
So the ultimate power stuff corrupts, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
There's some kind of corruption.
And so in Game of Thrones, Daenerys uses her dragons to wreak havoc. So would Wendy use the Lost Boys to murder and destruct on her behalf? And does she have a complete, like, degradation of her person and ultimately has to be killed? I don't know. But that's where people
she definitely used the xenomorph to kill. I don't know about the Lost Boys, but the xenomorph.
All right, instead of dragons, she has xenomorphs. It's very similar, right?
Oh, she got nibs to take out that guard by punching him over and over again. That's pretty close.
Yeah. For
nibs
sure.
is on her side.
Yeah. So we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Everybody still wants to talk about the Oculus taking over, like, we talked about the eyeball took over the cat, right? We talked about that. The cat was dead.
Half a cat.
How do I get rid of? I need to undo some of these.
Go to the stored category.
I'm in the star, yeah. I'm in the star. I just want to get rid of them. And we're going to come around to some other stuff. I got to get rid of a bunch of this. Hang on. We talked about a lot of these comments.
Yeah, a lot of them we did.
Let me unclick the, hang on. So let's go back to some of this part about like the zombie business. TSL says the brain, it doesn't need the old brain. I like that theory. Like, it doesn't need Arthur's brain. It takes over. It doesn't need the old brain. But I'm a little more about the whole part of his body deteriorating, I guess, is what's bothering me about it, right?
Yeah, no, Holly has something about parasites because he had that whole parasite thing in Legion.
I mean, like a chicken with its head cut off. Is that where we're going with this? Like it's a chicken with its head cut off and it can control it. I don't know. And then we're talking about people are talking about rigor mortis setting in, right? There's that little rigor mortis thing. Everything connects to the brain. A cell connects to the brain. I get that. I do totally agree that a cell gets into the brain and controls everything. I think it goes through the optic nerve, and that's how it controls everything. I guess. Look, he's been dead for maybe 24 hours. I think that's kind of a long time to me.
Not fresh.
Time, right?
It's not fresh. Was it worth when to eat him?
Maybe not that long, but I think kind of a long time. Bill Chill thinks it's more like 24 to 48. I do think he's been dead for a long time. And when he washed up,
long enough.
When he washed up, he was all white and the little crabs were eating him and shit, right? Yeah, but Acellus wants a person, Misha, fair. And everything is still connected to the brain. Yeah, but I feel like it might be rotting. I just felt like he was getting to the zombie world. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. We already talked about the rigor mortis. Some of that we've heard.
Yeah, rigor mortis hits in with 2 to 6 hours. Like the idea that Arthur could stand up. But whatever, set that aside. Acellus becomes the new control of the body. Yes, for sure. Acellus is controlling Arthur's body. I wonder what can really happen with that. Like, I really, the idea that Acellus is taking over Arthur's body could walk up the beach and scare people. I guess Acellus is using Arthur's body as a form of locomotion to get to a better body, right? It wants to get to a better body, right?
Yeah.
It was easy pickings.
It wants to get to a better body. Yeah. There has to be a limit to how long you can control a body because at some point decomposition happens. Yeah, right? How long is Arthur's body going to be available? Not that long. It's got to make the jump.
Well, it tried to jump out of the other guy's body.
Yeah.
Because he was not damaged goods.
I mean, this is really kind of a really good point that Doc Kaiju makes. Doc Kaiju is, I'm disappointed because I wanted to see Boy get that conversation, but he got unalived by the TSLs. Yeah.
Well, I think that's for season 2. I think that's the season 2 plot line. Or a finale for the series. It will happen.
For Boy Cavalier to eventually have that. Yeah.
Yeah, that will be the last episode of the series where he gets that conversation.
Yeah. So here's a question we didn't talk about. From Doc. I wonder if Morrissey can control more than just Prodigy tech. What do you guys think about that?
We'll see. We'll see in season 2.
Oh, come on. We'll see. Come on.
I think she can control anything electronic, but it's got to be within a certain distance. Like she said, it was on their network. So I'm assuming that video camera she controlled that was, with her brother, it was probably because it was one of their cameras. So yeah, I think it has to be something that's within a certain distance.
Were there things turned off though on the island? Or can she turn all that back on?
Well, the satellite was off, but she does say they're on the net. She says Adam's on the network. I can control him. I can.
Yeah, I don't think they turned the internet network off. I think they just.
I mean, that's a good question. Does Wendy think she's really powerful? But should she leave this island, would she really not have any power at all? I don't know. Which would kind of.
Or can she control everything on the island? So when the WY ships all come in, can she fight them?
I guess that might go with the Peter Pan and the Lost Boy and Neverland, right? Where Peter Pan had all this power in Neverland, but he really didn't have any power outside of the children's dreams. He couldn't really control shit, right? So,
and that might be a theme of season 2.
if Wendy has power outside of Neverland,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, I'm assuming they're probably going to get off the island next season.
maybe
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's kind of Dolores going out of Westworld.
Yeah. So before we go, I just want to come back to this comment that Bill made really early. Feel the pain and the joy of a man who was never a boy.
Was that in the show, or is he just
No? Bill was bringing up this comment from DMX, this lyric from DMX. A man who was never a boy. I mean, the idea that he was never a boy from the age of 6, that he's been like a I don't know how you feel about that. Like, is that really possible that you never a boy? The whole growing up fast thing. It does explain why he does not value the need for the lost boys to grow up, right? And that he thinks he can just like transmit a human consciousness into a robot and sell it. It's fine, right? He doesn't really. He has no experience of growth, so he doesn't value growth, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. If he was never a boy, he kind of regresses. He has a lot of regression with the skipping.
Like the whole skipping around business and all that, yeah.
No.
So maybe he had to grow up, but now he's living his second childhood with the Lost Boys, or wanted to, or one so. I'm not really sure what his pure motivations are, because it seems like he had other plans other than just selling them and making the monies. But
yeah. Oh, I love Misha's comment here. So we talked about how we would love to see Boy have this conversation with Octo, and we missed that. Misha says, wait. Misha says, Boy doesn't deserve that conversation.
He doesn't, but he's probably going to get it anyway.
He doesn't deserve it. Like,
right.
He hasn't earned the right or the ability or the sensibility to talk to a higher character, right? Like he's maybe the last person I'd like to speak to, an alien species for the first time. Like First Contact. You watch Star Trek? First Contact is so important, and you're going to let him do it?
No, the alien's just going to go in his eye socket, and he's going to have that conversation with the alien in his head.
Yeah.
Like you'll see pictures like The Color Out of Space, where you'll see the Lovecraftian planet and everything. He'll be like, "Oh, this is so much information," but he's like dying at the same time.
Yeah.
I know so much. I know so much now. King of the universe. Blah 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 blah.
Oh my god. So I'm following the chat here, but I'm not really sure where we're going with shopping carts and whatever. But
I'm just saying that about the perimeter restrictions of like
when you roll your shopping cart at the restaurant. And then
so the hybrids have like so many kilometers they can go. And then
are they restricted? Is it possible for them to leave Neverland?
Yeah,
right?
You would think they would put those restrictions on them so they couldn't leave, but they didn't really do a whole lot of anything in Prodigy, really.
Or would Wendy be like, boop, undo, boop, and
maybe.
So,
yeah, I'm not sure. Is Lucy a character in Peter Pan?
I think she's from another whole thing.
Well, I think they said it takes 2 of the other Lost Boys, so she must be.
That's what
I haven't read that much Peter Pan. I know there's a lot of Peter Pan books.
Yeah. So, I think that we're gonna have to wait probably like a year and a half for the next season, right? They have not been renewed, and I assume they'll get renewed. I assume the show is renewed, right? And when it happens, they will start writing, and then they will shoot, and then they will do the CGI. I'm thinking 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years before this happens. Where do you guys think it will go? I would like to hear your thoughts. What you'd like to see in the next episode.
Yeah, Misha says that if it's renewed, they'll have to put in the framework of what comes next in alien lore.
Yeah. All right. So if the next episode was next week, what would you guys like to see?
Oh, the movie Lucy. Okay. That's what they're talking
Okay.
about. The movie
I
Lucy.
got
Did you see the movie
Alright.
Lucy?
Oh, the movie Lucy, yeah.
Because
I
I
did
saw
a
the
long
movie
time
Lucy.
ago. I don't remember a lot of it, but I did a long time ago. I also saw. I was going to say Samuel also said, which is true, that maybe it controls it in a different way, and like we're thinking about it too much, because they did eat. They did do different things. The other aliens ate inanimate objects.
I don't think all the specimens eat minerals, but the flies ate minerals.
The
Yeah, I
flies
wonder if that's going to be in second season, as those flies are going to come out and mess with the hybrids.
Flies and the ticks, right? Like,
Yeah.
Or the ticks are already over all of New Siam, as one person in the chat pointed out.
Yeah.
The ticks are already out anyway.
The ticks are out.
The chicks are out. I don't know. I would have liked to have seen. My thing I wanted to see was Teocellus go into a person and talk. Like, yes, it went into Arthur,
Well,
but
it might talk like Arthur. We never know.
You have to talk. I mean, we have seen TSLs go into a pretty much. It couldn't talk through the cat. Granted, it's a cat.
Cats don't talk. They don't have.
But we saw it also in a mostly. We saw it in a mostly.
Like if he went through the cat, would be cool.
We saw it in a pretty much close to death guy on the Maginot, and it didn't talk, right?
Well, it seemed like it tried to. It like went like I think if it was in a person long enough, it would learn to use its vocal cords.
So, do we think Arthur's going to be a guy who can talk? I do not think Arthur can talk.
Arthur, I don't know, because Arthur's dead. But I think
I can see Arthur being a form of locomotion to get to a better,
a better host.
Yeah, but I think eventually it's going to be in a person and it's going to talk. I think it's like learning. I think everything it takes over, it's learning more about the species.
I guess. In the end, I'm not sure this is what that show. This show is about what makes you human. It's about these kids. What makes you a human? What makes you a grown up? What makes you all that, right? Mm-hmm. And Acellus is the major, like, look, is even Boy Cavalier the major villain right now, or is he kind of out of it, right? Like, I'm not sure that I feel like
or is WY, are they that corporation the big bad now?
Oh yeah, WY.
Are they going to fly in and they're going to have a little warfare with the hybrids, or are they going to fly in and just take the hybrids back to their corporation?
Arthur's going to cause problems. I do think that Teocellus as Arthur is going to do something. Maybe not talk, but we'll do something.
And also, I mean, Doc's question next. Yeah. I mean, the title of this episode was like the real monsters, right? It's actually not really clear yet. Who do you think the monsters were? Who do you guys think the monsters were in this episode? The humans, the kids, the hybrids?
The
corporation.
I mean, nice. Fine the humans are, but are they really? I don't know.
The corporation is repressing them. The corporation lied to people, put kids into bodies, probably told the parents something, ended up probably killing the parents. The corporation itself, everything that runs it, the soldiers run in the corporation, Joe runs in the corporation.
I mean, I'm not sure these weren't the monsters by the end of it. I'm not sure that these children aren't the monsters. No,
I don't think the kids are the monsters at all. I think they're the ones that are repressed and they're going to rise up.
I'm not sure that this is not about creating a monster. Like, they've created look, I'm not saying right now I think that. I'm saying could the show go here?
Yeah. Then it goes down the Frankenstein. It goes down the Frankenstein angle, where you made Frankenstein, and Frankenstein was a gentle soul, but they treated him like a monster. And then he said, hey, make me a bride and I'll leave. And the guy makes him a bride and tears it apart in front of him. So Frankenstein goes and murders the guy's family.
Yeah. I mean, so Bill says in this episode, Prodigy Corporation is the monster. Fair. Yeah. Doc thinks all of them are monsters. That's a totally fair assessment also. Everyone's a monster. Levels, maybe Teocellus will take over Yutani. that would be kind of awesome.
Can it get on one of the ships? Like Arthur walks on one of those ships when it lands? That's a good idea.
Man thinks the Lost Boys is going to reprogram Kirsch. Yeah, maybe the Lost Boys will reprogram Kirsch and make him part of their operation. The humans were the monsters. Yes, the humans are really... some more than others, but yeah, they're really the monsters, right? Bill thinks Wendy Marcy Stein is the monster. Yeah.
So,
Frankenstein.
Wendy Marcy Stein. And the corporation is always the man. Yeah.
Pretty much. Well, especially in Cyberpunk, the corporation is the man.
Yeah. I mean, they're all the monster. They're all monsters. Joe is not a monster.
No, Joe's not a monster.
Joe is a little bit of our entry to view these monsters, right? Joe is horrified at everything he sees.
Joe might become a monster though throughout the second season.
I'm not okay. Let's Doc bringing it. Monsters are trusted beings. They are born too tall, too strong, too heavy. They are not even by choice. That is their tragedy. By the director of Godzilla 1954. Fair. And we've talked about that no monster believes they are the monster, but I think we could characterize somebody like Boy Cavalier. He doesn't think he's the monster, but he's really horrible, right? Like
he's the voice of the corporation.
Yes, and if Wendy's the monster, like almost everyone in this fits into this. Like, I love it. Everybody's so gray, not black and white. They're tragic. They're born. They're not the evil by choice. That's their tragedy. But Boy Cavalier maybe is a little bit of a Dr. Frankencavalier. He's really
Frankenstein was the monster, so that actually makes sense too.
Well, let's take this from man. Joe might turn on his sister.
Yeah, I think that might happen.
Yeah. Do you think he's already suspect? I sometimes think he might be suspecting her already.
Yeah, I think they might end up on opposite sides. I kind of hope they don't, but I could see it happening.
There are times when Joe says it's Wendy, it's Wednesday, it's Marcy, it's Marcy. That I feel like he's like, it's not Marcy, it's not my girl. It's it's not. He's suspicious, right?
Yep. All right. Well.
All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been a long week.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Well,
there was a lot to talk about, everyone.
Let's romp down to the. Okay, I think there are different definitions of perspective as to what a monster is, and I think we have various kinds displayed while implying the true evils are boy and prodigy. True. True.
I just say the corporation because the corporation is coming up with the ideas that are oppressing other people.
And the corporation is always the bad guy, which I'm not saying I disagree with that.
Because you can see that you could take it that the hybrids are the oppressed ones and they're rising up against the man. And they're not monsters at all. Yeah. They're just being perceived as monsters from the corporation because they're not making the money. They're causing problems.
But they could rise up against their overlords and they could still not be, we should want them to be let loose against us, right?
Or it could just want to live on the island, but then somebody invades the island and says they can't. And then
if you leave them on
they're like, we'll take over Earth then.
Yeah, let them have Neverland. Let them live there and do their thing.
But they won't let them be peaceful. They'll do something and then they'll get to the rest of the Earth.
Because somebody wants to monetize them in one way or the other, right? That's really what it's going to be.
Who is Mary Shelley, Bill Chill?
I know.
I don't know Mary Shelley is.
For real.
Yep, it is. Who's Mary Shelley? Bill Chill. Mary Shelley wrote the original novel Frankenstein. I know you know that, Bill. You're just forgetting it.
She created the sci-fi genre.
You're thinking she's an actor or an actress, but she wrote Frankenstein, the original novel, which created pretty much sci-fi, right?
Created sci-fi genre. She was 16 at the time.
Yep.
Okay, let's see.
Amazing.
Doc says an alien, the government still exists, but are almost completely irrelevant. They aren't going, or almost irrelevant. They aren't gone completely.
Do you think it's interesting that an adolescent girl wrote Frankenstein?
Okay, I see what Bill's saying. Bill was saying who is. He wasn't saying who's Mary Shelley.
Within the show, Mary Shelley.
That makes slightly
I
more
still
sense. I
don't
was going to
get it.
say, how do you not know who Mary Shelley is?
Oh, who would represent Mary
Oh,
Shelley?
we did this show. Who's Mary Shelley?
yeah, who's living
Maybe
in Dale.
Dame Sylvia, who didn't really
Yeah,
need
Dame
it.
Sylvia, maybe.
She
Yeah, maybe.
created this without
As a,
really
or
needing
Boyd
it.
Cavalier and Stein.
Or maybe
Dark eyed Mary Shelley.
Or maybe Wendy is Mary Shelley. Like Wendy is liberating all these kids and sending them on this.
Yeah, but Mary Shelley would be the one that comes up with the idea to create something, which would be Boyd Cavalier then.
Yeah, that could be
But
Boyd
there's
Cavalier.
yeah.
I hope Mary Shelley's in second season.
Who lives to tell the story? I don't know. Maybe nobody. They might all die. Who knows?
It's
though?
wiped. Well, if it becomes canon, Prodigy doesn't exist in the first Alien movie, so that sucker was wiped.
I mean,
Nuked.
I think the person who might be Joe, the human perspective. He might be the guy that lives somehow, defying all the odds because he should have already died like 3 times to Sunday. But you never know.
Yeah.
He might be the guy who lives. So, oh my God, you guys, we have to wait like a year and a half, probably. I can't.
Oh, they need to put more good shows on. Everything's like everything goes on hiatus at once, and then there's like nothing, and then all of a sudden there'll be everything at once, and there'll be too many.
I appreciate the amount of time it takes to add the VFX to a show.
No, I do too. It just feels like there's nothing coming on. Like there's not.
Well, that's not Noah Hawley's fault.
No. I just mean in general. I didn't.
Hey, I tried to get you to do only murders in the building.
I know you did, but
there's stuff on. Whether you want to do it
I
or not is the question.
Well, there's not a lot of genre stuff that's really good on. How's that?
Well, we're in
between.
between.
Want to do Lazarus? I would like to look into maybe doing that, but
all right.
But we still
I
have.
thought we were doing mysteries
left. Sorry, what?
I thought you guys want to do mysteries, so only murders in the building is a mystery.
Yeah, but it's already been on at this point. I think it's kind of done.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Oh, welcome to Derry is coming in pluribus. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. We're gonna.
If everybody wants to do welcome to Derry, I'll try it. If it scares me too bad, I ain't gonna continue.
I'll do pluribus.
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for coming. Jamie,
I'm pretty.
What, Karen?
I'm pretty sure that there is probably a drag queen named Mary Shelley.
I think so. But Jamie,
and I'd love to see that drag queen perform.
You guys might do a wrap-up show for the season after this.
Yeah,
right?
We're gonna do kind of a season, I guess, wrap-up show for Alien Earth. So, because
we could do like theory stuff, and then we can see where it fits in the canon too. And that would be kind of because Jazzy and her husband know a lot about that, like fitting in the canon and stuff.
Yeah, well, when we're gonna have Cyborg Queen Media on, and we'll talk to him, so we'll let you know when we're all gonna do that.
Okay.
Well, thanks for finding us, man. Glad you enjoyed. Tomorrow,
thanks for joining.
We have our show for Wednesday. Nevermore Outcasts. Always it sounds so confusing to me when I say Wednesday. For the TV show Wednesday. That's tomorrow at 11, and our watch party is at 9:30 in Discord. If you guys want to join, and if you're not a member, please join our Discord. I have the link pinned to the chat. And Doc's asking about Monarch. I was going to say, you guys watched Monarch and liked it, right? I'm going to have to.
AJ and I watched Monarch, and we covered it on Fandom Access in our multi-covering show. If you cover Monarch, we will follow you and watch you for sure.
Yeah, and I gotta watch the first season, and then maybe I'll jump on board as well. But yeah, first like I said, we have Wednesday tomorrow, and then Sunday is of course Daryl Dixon.
Yeah.
And I guess for right now, Fandom Access is on Tuesday, but I guess for right now that's it.
It's just next week.
Maybe Lazarus. We'll be doing like I said earlier, we will be doing the Anne Rice thing. What the hell is it called? I blanked out.
Talamasca.
Yeah, Talamasca.
Yeah, that starts around Halloweenish. Yeah,
we're gonna cover it on Fandom Access, right? Or are you gonna do a separate show?
I thought we were doing a separate show. I thought the three of us
a separate show, man.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, we'll come.
Yeah.
All right.
I like to cover anything Anne Rice. So.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
But
Right.
yeah, tomorrow is the penultimate episode of Wednesday, and then the finale
Nice.
will be next Monday, because our Wednesday show is normally on Monday. It's just on Thursday this week. But you guys can
Because
get
I
the
went on a mini
schedule.
vacation.
Yeah, it's because you went on a mini vacation, and I've been sick, so it worked out for me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well,
Enjoy,
thank you for
kids.
coming.
I really enjoyed this season. Thank you both for Scarlett and Jamie. I love talking to you. Thank everybody for being in the chat.
Yes,
And
thank you.
like and subscribe.
Yes, subscribe to Sci-Fi-Vision, please. All right, guys.
Good night, kids. Bye.
Yeah. I was gonna.
Goodbye. We rule. Just remember we
All
rule.
right. Yeah.
Rule school.
Yeah. Rule.
We rule. We rule.
We rule. Bye bye.